the face that runs the place.
Long live living.
Goodbye and good night.
How's it going, folks? Welcome to another edition of The Kickouts, your weekly pro wrestling guide right here on 90.3 Near FM, on all good podcasting providers, and on the EMC Podcast Network. I'm Dave Cullen, and I'm joined by the man who claims he was the Santa Claus against the Young Bucks, Daragh Maher. Daragh, how are you this Christmas afternoon? Among Christmas days, I mean.
Is it still called a Christmas afternoon?
It's among the 12 days of Christmas.
It's one of that weird period. It's that weird week in between Christmas and New Year's where you don't know what day it is and you don't know what to call it. Like you see people.
It's the holiday period.
You know, like a couple of days before Christmas and stuff, you tell people, "Oh, have a good Christmas" and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And then maybe like the day before New Year's Eve and stuff, you tell everyone, "Oh, Happy New Year," blah, blah, blah. Now we're in this weird period where you don't know what to say. Do you say Happy Christmas? Do you say Happy New Year? Do you just say goodbye? Like, which one would you use?
Well, I went shopping during the week in Dunn's, and I just said Happy Holidays. Like, it's not actually Christmas, but it's holidays.
Who are you, Donald Trump?
Is that something he'd use?
He uses Happy Holidays, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a nice balance, no?
I don't know. Happy Holidays.
I
don't get that as a term. I know that's the
I didn't get it off
PC way
Trump.
of saying it because not everyone celebrates Christmas, but
maybe.
No, I would always be that Merry Christmas guy. Have a good Christmas, blah blah blah. You know.
All right, cool, makes sense anyway. So, but anyway, you and the Young Bucks.
Me and the Young Bucks. Yeah.
Second time in a row, I think, isn't it? Or certainly on film. Anyway,
all I try to do is deliver presents to their house, but the Young Bucks take exception to it, and you think I'm trying to invade the house or something, or try and steal some merch ideas. I don't know, but they always attack me, and I always get the better hand of them because you can't beat Santa. You just can't.
I think they know they're bad boys this year, therefore they expect bags of coal and want something in return.
Well, to be fair, I actually made an exception this year. I was actually going to give them the presents that they wanted.
Oh, really?
I was going to give them a nice travel pillow because they're travelling so much so they can sleep and be comfortable. Yeah. But no, they wanted to attack me. And you know what? Santa's keeping the travel pillow. I'm keeping it. I'm going to sleep while I'm travelling.
There you go.
On my one day a year that I work.
There you go. Seasonal says that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're coming to you live from Near FM Studios in the beautiful North Dublin village of Coolock. I'll be here for the next 2 hours, bringing you all the latest news, results, previews, rumours, and more from the world of professional wrestling. This week's show will be giving you all the latest news from the world of pro wrestling, both here and abroad, reviewing the past week's action from WWE, Raw, Smackdown, 205 Live, and NXT, previewing events coming up, including Pro Wrestling Ulster happening tomorrow with the Blitz in Belfast, and also Wrestle Kingdom 12 in Buskers and the Ball happening later on next week. I will also be announcing our nominations for our 2017 TKO Kickies. All that to come, but first we're going to start, as always, with the news.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Also, good news, everyone.
There's a lot of injury news coming out of this week. We're going to start with Dean Ambrose, where WWE are claiming that Dean Ambrose will be out of action for approximately 9 months. Adam Cole announced the news on Raw on Monday with WWE.com.
You mean Michael Cole?
Michael Cole. Who did I say?
Adam Cole.
Can you understand how it's...
No, I can't.
I have a huge habit of that.
A wrestler.
I have a huge habit of that by naming one wrong wrestler. If you listen back to the shows, all the shows we've done for last year, this isn't the first time. Michael Cole announced the news on Raw on Monday with WWE.com then updating their post on Ambrose's injury to include the timetable. Ambrose underwent surgery on last Tuesday, for a partially torn distal tricep tendon on his right arm. Dr. Jeffrey Dugas, who performed the surgery, has told WWE's website that Ambrose basically tore about 50% of the triceps tendon away from a forearm bone called the olecranon. Ambrose already began physical therapy with light range of motion exercises as of last week. Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez discussed WWE's timetable of Ambrose's absence on Wrestling Observer Radio during the week. Meltzer noted that WWE often exaggerates how long wrestlers will be out for, though he said he doesn't know if this will be the case here, and his recovery time for a torn tricep with surgery is usually 6 to 8 months. Meltzer said Ambrose is very much in WWE's plans for WrestleMania and the fallout from the show. So when he says that, does he mean like he's still going to be involved despite his injury?
I don't know. Like, the rumours were that he was going to turn heel on the Shield, and him and Seth were going to have a match at WrestleMania.
Which would be class.
That doesn't look likely.
Well, the thing is though, I feel it's a nice segue to what they're doing at the moment. So even if Ambrose is injured, I don't know what he can and can't do when he's with like a back of his torn.
Can't do anything.
Not really. It's a really
Can't do a thing.
That's a pretty bad injury. Like so, but it'd be interesting segue now, or at least you know how we always criticize WWE's short-term booking. At least this short-term booking, what they're doing with Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan being tag team champions, could give a bit of a segue towards the rivalry later on if it still happens.
Yeah, this was a forced move, but we'll get into that later.
Their hand was forced though, you know yourself, with injuries and stuff like that.
We'll get into it in a little while anyway. But
yeah, it's a shame though with Dean Ambrose being injured, because for me he's been one of the, like he's always been for my money one of the, he's among the best, not the best, but among the best performers that we have at the moment. Like so,
I think he's just caught in the middle at the moment. You know, he can't. Well, before the injury, anyway. I remember Austin's podcast said it when he became WWE champion. He didn't progress as a champion. He stayed where he was, and staying where you was as a champion wasn't going to work, because it actually doesn't. You don't stay where you are. You actually get worse if you don't strive to improve. I think when Ambrose heard those words from Austin, I think it did light a fire on him, and he did start performing more. But you know, the gimmick itself was sort of plainish. It was kind of like a jobber gimmick where he'd be able to take any punishment, and he'd come back and he'll keep fighting it and stuff. It seems more of a jobber gimmick than a main event gimmick for me.
I don't know about that. Like that sort of gimmick has been very famous for wrestlers, especially a lot of face champions over the years.
But in terms of hiding behind the, you know, the lunatic side of it, because you just mentioned Hulk Hogan there, and Braun Strowman to an extent is similar to that now that he'll come back from anything and say
John Cena even
John
back
Cena.
in the day.
But if you look at those guys and you look compared to Dean Ambrose, now Dean Ambrose is still in a great physical condition, but he's not as big as those guys, and it's a little less believable. That's why I think they go with the lunatic sort of angle of it. It's because he's not coming back because he's this strong guy and he has the will to win.
Right.
He's coming back because he's just mental and he doesn't know any better.
Good points, yeah. But no, it'll be interesting to see. Well, you know, it's interesting how Ambrose is a bit different in the sense where, though, obviously he's good at taking abuse and coming back, but he does it in a different way. Like it would work, but it'd be interesting to see. It's like, if the best way I could describe him is, imagine the Joker if he was a good guy.
No.
No?
No.
Do you know what I mean? Do you see where I'm coming from there?
No.
No, that's all?
No. I know where you're trying to come from,
that's what I mean.
but no. Doesn't work.
Joker's too sadistic, he's too evil.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll move on anyway. More injury news. This one concerning Brian Kendrick.
Yes, Brian Kendrick will be out of action for a bit after suffering a broken nose and orbital bone on Monday Night Raw. Kendrick was accidentally hit in the face by a GTS by Hideo Itami at the end of their match on Raw. WWE put out a video before Smackdown noting that Kendrick had been injured. Dr. Chris Ammon telling WWE.com that a CT scan confirmed Kendrick suffered an orbital wall fracture and a minimally displaced nasal bridge fracture. Ammon said that it appears Kendrick won't need surgery, but since the orbital fracture didn't cause any muscle or nerve entrapment when it penetrated the maxillary sinus, no timetable for Kendrick's return has been given in the article, though Nigel McGuinness said Kendrick will be out for 2 months on 205 Live on Tuesday night.
It's a shame, isn't it? Because the thing about Kendrick, is he's one of these guys who's, best way I could describe him as although it's great that he was pushed first time with the cruiserweights. Yeah, he's more like the guy, because he's probably arguably the most experienced guy in that roster. He's more he'd be seen as the gatekeeper for a lot of the guys coming in. So, and such as guys like Enzo Amore and then Hideo Itami and stuff like that, like now. And
well, Hideo is sort of experienced enough. I think he'd be able to sort of be that gatekeeper if they need to. But speaking of, I think that's the last time we could see the GTS done.
Think so?
By Itami, that's 2 now he's injured.
Who's the first one?
Was he either Dash or Dawson?
Oh, was it one of those guys who broke
Yeah.
his jaw from it?
Yeah,
I didn't
it
know
was
that.
from that at an NXT live show when he first came up. And now
Although WWE are very
and
particular.
they already changed it already, because I think he had a match on the Tuesday night in 205 Live and he won via submission.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I think they've taken it away from him.
Well, if they make Hideo Itami a heel, which I think they should, like it makes a lot more sense in my opinion if they make him a heel. Although it doesn't make sense now, but if he becomes champion, then becomes heel later on.
Yeah.
Do you know that sort of way, where he'd be.
You're
Almost,
trying to look at like the Neville side of it, where
Exactly.
he had the Rings of Saturn knockoff sort of submission. Yeah.
What was his? Was the GTS his finisher all the way gone back to Japan?
Yeah.
Interesting though, but like, you know, WWE are very fussy when it comes to moves that hurt people. Like that's why we never see Seth Rollins use half of like he doesn't use
the curb stomp, I should say,
or
anymore.
the turnbuckle powerbomb. It's very rare.
He
see
does
it
it now. He doesn't do it at the turnbuckle though. He does it outside.
Yeah, it's very rare. He does that though. Thing is though, when you look at something like moves like that, like a GTS, like is it the way it's applied by the wrestler, or is it just unlucky at the time?
It's the timing, because especially the way that he lets them go, they jump down and they meant to. Obviously, they're not meant to hit the knee, but whatever's happening is they're not timing it right or something.
So it's just an accident. Then it's when you think accidentally hitting the face.
It
as
might be
said in
they
supports.
are just two bad accidents, but WWE just aren't going to take the chances.
Yeah, and especially if someone like Kendrick, as we said, who's incredibly experienced, and you'd think would be able to
Like it could
protect
be
himself in
that
those
Tommy's
moves.
just putting his knee up too high.
Possibly.
I don't know, but I don't think we're going to see it again.
Yeah, sure. We'll see what happens. Continuing with injury news this week, this was a bit of an injury scare, but it looked like a concern at the time. Paige has been now pulled for at least the rest of the WWE Raw house tour shows this week due to an injury scare suffered at the Nassau Coliseum during the week. Paige was teaming with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville against Sasha Banks, Mickie James and Bayley in Uniondale, New York. During the match, she took a hard kick at the back of the head from Banks. As it appeared, she didn't brace herself for and wasn't able to continue. The match was immediately stopped and she was given medical attention. A stretcher was brought out, but she could walk out on her own power, though she did need help getting to the back. After the show, she was able to go out, and the injury, at least at this point, wasn't thought to be serious. So it's a relief. But apparently there's a video for it. I haven't seen it, but it looked really, really scary at the time.
Yeah, it did. It looked really bad. Sasha was on the turnbuckle and Paige just put her in there and she turned away to taunt the crowd and Sasha just kicked her in the back. It seemed as though it was in the back of the neck, and then sort of feared the worst when she fell down because of obviously the history of neck issues that she's had.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's another video where she's down for a while and the crowd really got after Sasha.
Really?
For shouting Sasha sucks and everything like that. So thankfully she's alright. It's not a serious injury.
My understanding was that was a shoulder injury as opposed to a neck injury.
Yeah, just the way, because it was a far shot, it wasn't a close up.
I see.
It looked as though she made an impact with the back of her neck. And the thing is, when you have her back to a shoulder, neck, it's pretty much the same area. Not the same area, but it's close enough that you could be mistaken thinking it was the neck.
See what you mean? Yeah. I know it's a relief though, because she's had such bad luck with injuries. Like she's been like, despite all her antics, like the majority of last year and the beginning of this year with Roberto Del Rio, she has been more or less out due to injury. With her neck, with her, like it was a nerve in her neck at one stage, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So the momentum she and Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville have been gaining have been fantastic. Like. You know, so if all things are well, like I can really, I don't think anything should be grand now. I don't think she'll wrestle next week. But
Probably not. You'll probably see like maybe Mandy or Sonya probably make their
she's at ringside maybe.
singles debut while she's at ringside or something like that.
To be fair, like on them, they're actually performing very well. I think they're Deville and Rose in particular are making very good shows.
They're doing alright. They're protecting them anyway perfectly. They're letting Paige get all eyes on her, and then they're just doing the business that they need to do while they get their feet under the table there on the main roster.
But they're basically have their toe on the table at this stage, is what I'm trying to say, and they're looking good doing it. Like that makes sense.
Yeah, I think they're definitely outperformed the other three on SmackDown.
Oh, I agree.
I think that's more down to booking than it is actual talent.
Well, Absolution, in my opinion, looks stronger than the Right Squad at the moment. So, like, and they're doing a good job the way they're booking it there so far. More positive news now concerning Bret Hart this week.
Yeah, WWE Hall of Famer Bret Hart has announced that after 1 year of undergoing surgery for prostate cancer and returning to the gym, he is now 100% cancer free, according to a report in Bloom's magazine. Bret noted that he benefited from detecting the cancer in its early stage and pushed for men over 40 years old to get tested, stating, it's so crucial for me to stress that it's just a blood test. You go in, get a blood test. If you're a man over 40, you need to go in. You don't want to be like my brother Smith, who's a guy that didn't worry about it, and it's too late now. If you've got prostate cancer, if you catch it early, you could die from it. Or if you don't catch it early, you could die from it. And if you do catch it early, you can live a pretty normal life. I would say I'm pretty close to normal.
I think wasn't that this year that his brother Smith died?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it goes to show. So credit where it's due to Bret. Like, you get fighting, so it's a relief, because obviously, like, you hate to see any legends of wrestling, especially someone like Bret Hart, who's arguably one of the best of all time, be down like that. But it's good to see him doing that, and it gives a good message now for guys of a similar age to get themselves checked out for sure.
Exactly. It's so important for everyone to check. So guys, check your bits regularly.
Check your bits regularly.
Look, Dave's even checking his bits right now. But Dave, I thought maybe you'd do it.
My hands on the table.
I thought you'd do it at a time more convenience for yourself. But I guess, look, listen.
I've no reason
if it's
to touch
just
myself
checking
right
for
now.
cancer,
I can't believe
then
it just said that.
it's fine. No, Dave, it's fine. If you're just checking for cancer, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh God, you think? I've no reason to do that right now.
You're checking.
I'm wiggling my chair a wee bit. That'll do.
He's checking in.
No more pills or alcohol. No more something Catterall. No more sinking fun at all. I'm checking in. You got me started. We'll move on. New Japan Pro Wrestling officially announced on Friday that last Friday that they'll be returning to the United States on March 25th, 2018 for a special one night only event titled Strong Style Evolved at the Walter Pyramid in Long Beach, California. No information has been given as such. Just ticket information. The full match card will be announced in the coming weeks at NJPW1972.com. So it's great to see them back in America. They're getting a huge fan base there,
you just saw from their G1 special last year how how well known that they are getting in America, and I think it will be really, really good. I would prefer, it's obviously their version of a live show where WWE would go over to Japan for a live show.
Yeah,
I'd love them to see maybe bring a stage of the G1 over
to the United States.
Yeah,
why not? That's the impression I thought they were going to do when they first announced the G1, that they're actually going to do a round here as opposed to a preview.
Yeah.
But, I never know. It only makes sense. There's so many sports.
Well, they did, I guess, I wouldn't say maybe it was a live show, because they did finish. Didn't they finish the end of the US title? Didn't they have the US title tournament there?
Yes.
And they finished it.
Yes.
So at least they did.
There.
Yeah, they did something there for it.
Yeah, absolutely. But it'd be class if they had a round, because all sports at one stage they start to branch out outside of their original country.
Yeah.
Like cycling, that break. Not
cycling. Yeah, well, if you look at cycling, that's a good in. That's
the Giro Italia comes to Ireland sometimes.
Yeah, and the Tour de France, I think, starts in England, goes to Italy at some stage as well.
Does it go to England?
It starts in England. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Also, NFL-wise, that there's multiple games in the NFL that take place in London. Also in the likes of Mexico as well. They always have a game down in Mexico City every year.
Come here, you know your NFL. You're wearing a Seahawks jersey right now.
Yep.
Do you have a base in Germany, or a fan base in Germany? You ever thought about having the game there? I imagine they have the resources.
They have a fan base everywhere, though. There was talk about bringing the game to here because the fan base is increasing here.
Well,
they
have,
bring the college games over to here.
They have Notre Dame and the Navy.
The German has their own league. Germany has their own league over there as well. So I don't know. It's got to be it's so difficult for the NFL because there's 16 regular season games, 16 regular season weeks. For games where every team is going to play.
Right.
Well, not even 17, because each team gets a bye.
Mm-hmm.
So they play 15, I should say. So they play 15 times a year. 7 or 8 of them are going to be at home. So you don't get a lot of home games. So you lose a home. So teams are losing a home game to go and play abroad. So teams aren't too keen on it just yet. So they want to try and keep as many games as they can at home for the
See
moment.
what you mean, yeah.
So
It's a slow and steady process.
yeah,
So
it's a kind of extraordinary that London gets so many games, but they just do to have that close relationship with I don't know, is it just with England in general, or I have no idea what the relationship is, but with Wembley anyway, they have a really close relationship.
Of course, yeah, like they have a lot.
And then when
at least 2 games there a year or something like that.
It was
Three,
three
is it?
this year. And then when Tottenham Hotspur's stadium is finished, they're going to be having games in there.
When? Oh, really?
Yeah.
When
They
is
had actually. Did they have?
Speaking of,
Sorry, they had 2 games in Wembley and 1 game in Twickenham this year.
oh, you're right.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. Speaking of, when is their stadium finished?
Either the end of this year or the end of next year.
Cool. It's curious to
This
see.
year by season, I mean, not by
Oh,
actual
okay, gotcha.
physical year.
Going back to New Japan though, like, you know, like they're getting, so we were talking about how popular they were getting. Like, we see how the Bullet Club are trying to get this event going next year. This 10,000 plus event, which apparently they've set in the venue for, or at least rumored so anyway, for Chicago.
Yeah, I bet it's not the Tree Arena, is it?
No, we both know that was a tease.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
that was just pandering.
Yeah. Listen, it was great and all, but but why don't New Japan try and push for a 10,000 seat when I think they're way capable of getting it? They're number 2 in the world for wrestling, if you ask me.
I'm not sure.
Maybe they're maybe they don't.
Maybe they don't want to get into competition with WWE.
Maybe, but
Even though, like,
and you get the impression as well that maybe they're having a bit of a working relationship at the moment. Mainly due to Chris Jericho going to and from. Like, maybe there has to be something in the between there for.
well, like the guy who set it up is a Hall of Famer in WWE, so he obviously is on the phone to Vince at least a couple of times a year.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
he's gone on record saying that he still loves working for Vince even to this day. Like, so I'd imagine there was no problem, but but still, like, I don't know. Like, I can't imagine what the big deal would be about it. Like, you know, like, I wouldn't, like, having one live event as opposed to WWE doing their thing, I wouldn't see that as necessarily competition.
No, I think it would be sort of stepping, because WWE the only like 10,000 seat plus stadium places that for wrestling in America, it looks like.
Yeah.
I can't think of anywhere else. Impact doesn't even do close to it.
No.
So
No,
Ring of Honor doesn't either.
No,
so.
the last non-WWE event that had that much of a crowd was WCW.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
we'll finish off the news with more lawsuits or more legal problems concerning Hulk Hogan.
Yes, WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan has decided that 115 million from Gawker isn't enough. So he's going to file a lawsuit against Cox Radio. Mike Calta, the morning host of 102.5 The Bone, and his former co-worker Matt Lloyd, regarding the airing of his sex tape, according to a report from ABC Action News. Hogan, in the lawsuit, claims defamation of his character, violations of Florida communications laws, and loss of his 35-year job in professional wrestling as a result of them airing the tape, with a judge overseeing the case giving the defendants 20 days to respond to the lawsuit.
I don't think he's necessarily suing them for money. It's just for pride, I think, in this case.
I don't think, like, if you're saying that these guys were the only guys to ruin your professional wrestling career
when they weren't,
where it was played everywhere,
well, maybe, I don't know,
unless these guys were the first to air it,
perhaps.
but if it wasn't going to be them, it was going to be someone else. It got out. It was going to be played. It was in the public. It was going to be in the public eye. So these guys I don't know. I don't get why he's doing this.
Well, see, Hogan has a history of suing whenever the situation is due to defamation. That's how he sued WCW.
It's very interesting, though.
Or Vince Russo in particular.
It's very interesting that this popped up, because do you remember the whole Gawker lawsuit in general?
Yeah, of course.
There's an interesting documentary on Netflix about that court case. And the secret backing that Hulk Hogan got for his legal fees was through the founder of PayPal.
Is that right?
Was it PayPal? That was. Yeah, it was one of them. Because he had a vendetta out against Gawker, because Gawker exposed the fact that he was, not the fact that he was gay, but he was into really weird stuff.
So yeah,
like kinky, like stuff.
Into his fetishes.
Yeah, exact. Thank you. Fetish. That was the word. and it basically, the documentary plays out the fact that the richest people in the world are trying to censor the press and sort of censor free speech so that their shortcomings can't be exposed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very interesting documentary. I'll try and find the name of it. It's well worth a watch.
Yeah.
Well worth a watch. Even like, I know I'm a journalism student and I thought it was very interesting to me, but even if you're not, you're just a casual guy wondering how that lawsuit...
No, I'm a media a media student, so I'm interested in all that.
Yeah.
You can't tell, like, you talk about the news so far, we're a bit off topic. You can tell it's Christmas, can't you?
Yeah.
Like, after
Well,
this,
actually, this is just their show in general.
yeah. Like, once we're past WWE... I'm not encouraging people not to listen. We're just saying, like, you know, it's a more laid back show today for obvious reasons. So what's that documentary called again?
Nobody Speak, it's called.
Nobody Speak.
Yeah.
And does it go into the lawsuit involving Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, it goes into the lawsuit to surround why it proceeded and why it kept going.
Yeah.
And then it gets Gawker's side, it gets Hulk Hogan's side. I don't think, as far as I remember, no, Hulk Hogan didn't actually do an interview for himself. It was his lawyers that did.
Yeah.
And then it goes from there into, well, how did they get the backing to pay for all these legal fees, and other examples of when high valued people in the world try and censor free press. There was a guy in
Means of
Vegas.
production.
There was a guy in Vegas.
Right.
He was the richest he was the member of the richest family in Vegas. And they caught out something. The Las Vegas Tribune, I want to say the name is. I could be wrong with the name of the newspaper.
A newspaper from Vegas.
Yeah, but found out things that he'd been getting up to. So he decided to buy the newspaper, and he tried to stop everyone from reporting it. And he fired anyone that wouldn't go along with what he wanted.
Man.
Yeah.
Shows when you have money, you can abuse it.
Exactly.
So it goes to show you, like, at the end of the day, it's right. Like, that's what a lot, like, you get the impression that's what a lot of the richer people would be like. You know, there's no complete evidence of a complete, like, that's another thing about it. You get the impression that they'd be rich enough where they'd hide the evidence or know how to destroy it.
Yeah.
But, like, we don't know the facts. Watching stuff like that certainly makes you think, though, I imagine. So,
yeah.
So it goes to show you. Anyway, let's continue on with our results of the week.
Oh my God! What the hell is going on? Oh my God!
And we'll start off with WWE Raw.
Welcome to Monday Night Raw.
You know what? It makes a lot of sense that they did WWE Raw in Chicago, because what other city would want to have Raw, or at least what fans from anywhere else would want to have Raw on Christmas Day?
True.
It wouldn't have. No, honestly, as much as Dublin is getting into wrestling, especially locally, there's no way.
No one would go.
No one
way.
would go.
No.
It'd be empty.
Everyone would be at home pissed.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone. It will be empty, the same size, the camera side everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway, it started off with John Cena giving, first of all, giving a nice touch, giving his shirt and hat to a Make-A-Wish guy. They played up the holiday edition of the show until Elias Sampson.
What did you think of the first hour non-break, non-commercial Raw?
It flowed nicely.
I don't know. The match itself I thought was poor. I think on SmackDown they did it better, where they had the tag team match, and I think that was the better match. But I think John Cena and Elias match for going for 16 minutes without a break just didn't work.
I see how it would drag more, because there's nothing to do. There's little to show, as opposed to two huge exciting matches that we have on SmackDown. So yeah, it makes more sense. It kicks off the show. Yeah. But I think the thing with Raw is that even on this sort of format, like where there's less commercials, it still builds itself up. It's like it still plays it slow in the beginning and then has the better matches towards the end. So, which makes a bit more sense, I think. But I guess in this format, it's good to see that both sides are experimenting, I suppose.
Yeah.
For the casual fan, though, the SmackDown way is the best way, though.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Anyway, Elias Sampson came out saying that WWE now stands for Walk with Elias. I can't believe no one thought of that.
No one ever copped it before. Yeah.
He says he'll walk. Cena says he'll walk with Elias, and Elias is here interrupting because everyone interrupts him, and says CM Punk sure as hell won't interrupt him tonight. Of course, dancing CM Punk chance is in Chicago, but Elias plans to perform. He keeps cutting Cena's attempts of a vice off, but Cena gives him a stool and backs off. He starts singing, gets booed off the building where he buries Chicago. Cena interrupts and says that Elias shouldn't have to say bad things about Chicago, kisses up to the crowd, and then Elias says he should speak the truth. Cena called him jerk, and those are fighting words. Elias said he never thought of things that way. So he'd up to another song. He sings again, playing it nice. Cena joins in, and then Elias lays him out with a punch. Starting the match between the two of them, where it ends with Elias hitting the drift away. But Cena kicks out at 2 elbows, followed by Elias. He poses, but then Cena gets a sunset flip from the 2, and then the 5 moves of doom ends over. I'll tell you something though. Elias is improving, I think. Like he's come in strides now since he's come to the main roster, in my opinion.
Yeah. He has, yeah. He's definitely more over with the crowd and stuff, and obviously lines with, like, I bet CM Punk is not going to interrupt me and stuff.
So he has a line. He has something up his sleeve here and there, and he's. I won't say he's 100% over, but a good portion of the crowd are certainly.
The songs and stuff like that, his promos are good. The wrestling needs to be improved on.
Oh, even the wrestling I think has improved a lot though. Like a lot of people have said John Cena's showing in this match wasn't great though.
No, but I can understand why. He hasn't wrestled properly in how many months?
Yeah.
Like he had a match at Survivor Series, but he actually didn't do much in that match. So I don't know. Maybe it was that's probably him. That probably is one of the reasons why I felt like this match wasn't great. Was that like John Cena should not have been in a 16-minute match, coming back for the first time in months.
Yeah. There you go. Like John. Well, again, that's probably what they were trying to do, because John Cena is seen as the overall attraction of WWE.
Yeah.
Why they put him as the first on the show.
Exactly.
So it is an idea, but like maybe it was good rather than great. We'll leave it at that. Like so. Backstage, John.
I'd say good is a bit of a push.
Yeah, even then.
Mediocre.
Kurt Angle decorated a tree with Jason Jordan for family time. Seth Rollins arrived, wants revenge against Joe for injuring Ambrose. He and Jordan argue, but Angle says Rollins and Jordan will first take out the bar first and be for the tag team titles. Roman Reigns arrives. Angle books him against Joe with the IC title on the line. Then Hideo Itami took on Brian Kendrick. Ended with Itami firing up with strikes, hitting his hesitation drop kick, and then the GTS that eventually injured him. Absolution took on Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Mickie James. Ended with Paige fighting back but run into a Bayley to belly, but Deville and Rose pull Bayley from the floor. It breaks into the floor into a huge brawl. Bayley and Paige back in. Paige cuts Bayley off and hits her Rampage for the win. Good win, actually. Like they're like. Do you think? As I said to you earlier on, I think that they're working hard. They're putting good performance in, Rose and Deville in particular. Like so, they're definitely. They don't seem out of place compared to the other 4 women. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like I said when we were talking about the news, the Paige is perfect for them because she can get all the eyes on her while they can do their work and get settled in at Raw. So until they're then ready to start. I think the test will be coming up now in the next couple of weeks, where they're probably with Paige maybe taking a back seat for maybe 2 weeks or so.
There's her injury, yeah.
Those two will be in the spotlight more, actually having matches, so we'll see how they go. Though Sonya Deville did have a really good match with Ember Moon this week, so
very good match. So
she does have the talent there for sure.
Yeah.
Mandy Rose, I think the question's still out on her. I haven't seen much of her.
Neither have I, but I'm up. Just from seeing them together so far, like among like Red Raw competing against them so far, like it seems like they're one of the either one, if they were on their own, could easily have a rivalry with like Mickie James or Bayley or Sasha Banks. So for me, they're fitting the shoe nicely, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Kane took on Heath Slater. Rhino and Slater were arguing in the back, so Kane looks to attack, but Slater fight back, start connecting, but almost immediately cut off. Chokeslam, finish over. Post match, Kane and Rhino brawl. Rhino hits a corner spear, but the gore is cut off. Chokeslam and stands tall. I suppose like the thing is with this, like it makes Kane strong going to the Rumble match.
This is trying to build Kane for a Rumble match. Like putting him in is silly, and it's the same with Braun where they put him in the 2-on-1 as well. Is this the way you really want to build up a triple threat match with Brock Lesnar?
By taking on mid carders, we'll call it.
Yeah, and these guys actually had probably a better match when Raw went off. In the dark match, they had a last man standing match.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wait, was last man standing between
Braun and Kane?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's the thing. Well, they have a certain format for TV as opposed to the after stuff, which they can get away with murder for that.
Yep. Even though it's still filmed and it'll still get out anyway. So.
That's the thing. But the thing is, though, a lot of people are thinking about Kane in this whole scenario going to the Rumble, questioning if he should even be in the match at all.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be interested in this build-up because Finn's not in it. It should have been Finn's match against Brock, but it's not, and they're going for Kane. Did you see the sign though when Kane had his match?
No.
There was a guy with a sign there. He was in the front row there, and as soon as the match started, he put up the sign saying, "Don't you have mayor stuff to do?"
It's quite. Yeah, is he still running for office actually, or
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
is he? Did he get mayor of whatever state he was? What state was it again? For the life of me, I don't remember.
I can't remember.
Mississippi, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I actually don't know for the life of me. Speaking of Finn Balor, he took on Kurt Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins was there to face the facts. 2017 wasn't a good year as he was winless, but feels a Christmas miracle coming, issuing an open challenge. Says he's 0 to 146 right now.
He actually went 0 for 150 yesterday at the live show.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Oh dear. It was an easy win for Balor in the end. Got a roll up a cradle for 2. Balor hits.
Balor wearing red for Christmas.
Yeah.
And he was wearing white for the Madison Square Garden show.
Nice.
The day after. And then last night on another live show, he was wearing the Baby Boy Blues.
Baby
He was
Boy
wearing the
Blues.
Baby Blues.
Baby Blues.
He stole it from Tony Nese.
At least it actually fits him, or it's more appropriate to him.
Yeah.
He should wear green. I think green's a better Christmas colour. Or green with
Yeah.
reds.
Yeah.
That's my
Well, red, because maybe he just still had them left over from Survivor Series.
maybe. Balor hits the double standing stop, sling blades, dropkick, shotgun dropkick, and double rope, double stomp for the win. The streak continues. We saw Woken Matt Hardy for the first time in the ring, where Bray first of all said that Sister Abigail hates Christmas, made her way to the ring and attacked him from behind to huge chance of delete. So the rivalry continues.
Yeah.
With just Matt laughing like a madman.
Yeah.
Like, does that work? Like just him laughing like that?
Yeah. Crowd knows what it's about and they're okay with it. It's better than a promo. So, yeah. As long, like, I would prefer him to just take onto the mic and say, "Oh, the man who eats all the worlds," you know. But he won't.
He won't eat all the worlds.
Yeah. He was actually. I noticed it when I was going through my newsfeed on Twitter the other day.
Right.
Him and X-Pac were talking over Twitter.
Oh, really?
And he called him the Pac of X.
I've been following his Twitter more lately, actually. Like, but
Yeah.
he sends like 10 tweets a day or something like that. Like,
Oh, he's cracked. Yeah. he's properly getting 100% into this character, and I love it.
that's what he wants to say.
It's like, the thing is, like,
No, I saw the picture.
build up and everything is just going to be so much more better than the match itself. So
Yeah.
they have to really build it and build it and build it, because the match is going to be. It is. Let's be fair, because with Matt, he can't really do a lot anymore, so it's not going to be a great match.
But I'm not sure I completely, like, he's still more capable than you think. In my opinion, like, even if he doesn't,
I'm not going to say.
even if
I'm not
physically-
saying it's going to be a terrible match. It could be a good match and stuff like that. But for like the way that he's obviously how over he is,
it could be a match of psychology more than the physical match. Though, so
could be like I'm guessing maybe they might put a stip or something on it.
maybe, who knows. Now, the Miracle on 34th Street Fights, cleverly named for a 6-man cruiserweight match.
See, WWE are taking pages out of OTT's book as well,
How?
with the OT tree.
OT3. Oh yeah. Oh, I wonder where that got that from. It ends with Alexander taking a kendo candy cane stick. Gulak accidentally hits Enzo, and Alexander attacks him with kendo shots. Davari in, eats a lumbar check, and that's that. Like I can understand why those have those sort of matches. Like, I suppose holiday.
It's
themed.
gimmick match. The same when Halloween's on, the same when Thanksgiving and Easter's on. It's a gimmick match. They have to do. Out gimmick matches, though, I think this was probably the better ones that they could have done.
It was. Do you think it's better that the cruiserweights do it as opposed to the?
Yeah, I think so.
Last time they did it was Gallows and Anderson against Slater and Rhino at Halloween.
Yeah.
Which was dreadful. We talked about it at the time. Whereas this was a lot better, obviously, because it's actually them wrestling just with Christmas stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to just gimmicky matches, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
After the match, Enzo Amore was was sad backstage and met up with Nia Jax and her amazing Technicolor hair. They were under mistletoe and they teased kissing until Alexa Bliss interrupted them.
Yeah.
I saw a very funny tweet about this. I don't know.
So she got cock blocked.
essentially.
Yeah.
I saw a very funny tweet about this. I'm not sure who sent it. It might have been Nia Jax herself, where she said, where Nia Jax was about to enter Aunt Santa's workshop, but got cut off by the elf.
It sounds like an Enzo thing.
I'm not sure who sent it. Actually, might have been something I saw on the Facebook groups. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. Now, Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe, IC title. Very good match. Ended with Joe sending Reigns to the floor, hits the elbow suicida. Reigns was selling the left arm, similar to Ambrose when he was actually injured. Joe rolled him back in, started working the arm. Reigns fights back to headbutts, rights, lays in the boots, and shoves the ref away for a disqualification.
$5,000 fine he gets from that.
No, that's from shoving the referee after the match. Yeah.
No, I thought it was during the match.
It was after the match. This was Joe who shoved the ref away to cause disqualification. It was a good
No, it was Roman.
No, that was after.
Roman was the one who pushed it. Roman was the one that got disqualified from the match. Joe won it.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, my mistake. No, it was a good match, but it was kind of it could have been better with a stronger finish. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I think they're just trying to build it until Rumble.
Maybe. But what happened? Yeah, but when you say Rumble, like, that's Reigns is looking strong against a guy Joe who.
Well, that's this week.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, maybe.
Because other weeks Joe has been stronger. It's going to be like a tug of war thing.
I imagine so. Braun Strowman took on the Miz Taraj. Axel and Dallas are in the ring, having a Secret Santa match, and they were singing along until Braun arrived. Braun just basically killed them, gave Dallas God knows how many power slams, and both of them afterwards due to urgence of the crowds. Again, it builds Strowman up as well. Yeah,
true.
But in a fun way, I suppose.
It's just a thing, like the face destroys the heels and everyone's happy.
That's it. Alexa Bliss arrives, giving us the gift of a goddess, where she reflects on her 2017, which she says was the year of the bliss.
Very blissmas, wasn't it?
Very blissmas. Where she said it was the year, she started the year as SmackDown Women's Champion and finished it as Raw Women's Champion. She did it without the fans and doesn't need them now. She then talked about the Women's Raw Rumble and last week's announcements, which was, for her, the moment of the year. She then said, "You're welcome because every moment is because of her." Asuka then arrived, saying that she's entering the Women's Rumble and she will win because nobody's ready for Asuka. Bliss, looking terrified, then took a huge kick to the heads.
Yeah, which is probably right. She probably would be the one to win it.
I can't see anyone else who...
I can't see anyone else unless Alexa Bliss interferes and actually takes her over.
The only other person... It depends, like, if it's both Raw or SmackDown, if it was one person from Raw, it would be most likely Asuka. If it's from SmackDown...
I'd say Becky.
Or Naomi.
No,
I'd love to see Becky win, but no,
I think Becky needs, and I think the fact that she agreed to do the WWE movie, I think she's going to get something soon.
Do you think that's going to be awards for it?
Yeah.
Imagine the pop she get, like, if we watched her at home from that, like, so it should be interesting.
Well, you will be, I won't.
Why not?
Well, you'll be watching it in the Oscars, I won't.
And, well, even getting the news or watching it at home, whatever.
Yeah, I'll be watching it at home, yeah.
And for main events, Cesaro and Sheamus defending the tag titles against Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan. Ended with Sheamus locking in the Clover Leaf on Jordan and made the ropes. Cesaro tagged in, the double team White Noise was stopped by Rollins and then sent Sheamus to the steps, but Cesaro took him out. Cesaro back in and Jordan hits the pop-up neck breaker, and that's it, new champions.
We took Jason Jordan away from Chad Gable because you wanted to build him as a single star.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the tag team titles on him.
But it's with another huge star on Raw. Like, so the thing is, though, the tag team titles on Raw as opposed to SmackDown, I think, are to try and put people over anywhere. At least the way they've been booked with Cesaro and Sheamus, you could argue.
It was a...
Do you see what I mean?
Oh, sorry, Christmas period's getting the better of me. It was a knee-jerk reaction after the Ambrose injury.
Yeah,
they didn't know what to do, and I believe what they are doing. Do we have a fancy booking theme maybe ready?
Give me a chance. Yeah, give me seconds. It's been a while since we used these. Cause
yeah, let's use this.
Yeah, go for it. Reality.
This is my yard now.
Versus fantasy.
I'm not finished with you.
Proceed.
I think we're changing the people around in terms of Jason Jordan is now going to be the Dean Ambrose.
Jason Jordan's going to be
the Dean Ambrose, where Jason Jordan's going to turn heel on Seth, and they're going to end up having a WrestleMania match.
Okay, well, What, Dean Ambrose against Seth at this year's WrestleMania or next year's WrestleMania?
This coming year, yeah.
Well, what if he really is hurt and he has to be gone that long though? He won't make it to WrestleMania.
Who, Dean?
Yeah.
Of course, he's really this hurt.
So
that's the thing. Like, I think they're putting that in place in case Dean doesn't come back.
I see what you mean. So explain that again. So Jason Jordan is now.
So the plan was originally for WrestleMania, as far as what I've heard,
Right.
was Dean was going to turn heel on the Shield, similar to what Seth did, which would then Seth would take it more personally than Roman, which would lead to a Seth versus Dean match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I believe now that Dean's injured, they're setting up the insurance match of Seth Rollins against Jason Jordan at WrestleMania, where now Seth and Jason are now tag team champions.
Yeah.
They're going to go well for a while before Jordan turns heel on Seth,
which they seem to be given nibbits of here and there. Like, so it is actually not a bad backup plan, to be honest with you. I don't think. Obviously, with the attraction more is Ambrose against Rollins, but it's not bad either.
It depends on how they play it out.
Exactly.
It depends if Jordan can actually get over with the crowd. I think the crowd, I don't think he will. I think the crowd are just waiting for him because they know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're waiting for him to turn heel.
No,
and I think once he does, that's when he'll get over with the crowd. Similar to Mojo.
Yes, great example. Yes, very similar to Mojo. I think another reason I think that they would have had to win the titles is because of the reported injuries of Sheamus as well.
That's been there for a couple of weeks, but he's still wrestling and stuff like that. I think it was just a decision that was made on the day.
Maybe. Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me if we didn't see him if he disappeared for the next few months, because of his injuries.
No, because they're the only two real tag teams. So I think they have to establish the revival again. So Seth and Dean.
Well, they're there to be.
The Bar are going to be there for a while because there's no other tag teams.
Bar, Rhino, and Slater, but they're on a bit of a losing streak.
Yeah, and the Anderson and Gallows, but we haven't seen them in weeks.
Yeah, well, what's?
I don't know. WWE are just trying their best to destroy any member of the Bullet Club.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. Yeah, they're a perfectly good tag team. Like, it makes no sense. Yeah. Do you really think they have a vendetta to the Bullet Club?
No, I don't. No. I'm just saying it. I'm just saying it for the sake of it because we haven't seen them. They're a fantastic tag team and they just haven't been around. They probably haven't been on that main event show, but nobody watches that.
No, believe me, we wouldn't review that even if we were given the option.
Even if WWE paid us, we'd probably say no. Actually, that's not true. We would. Yeah, we devote 2 hours.
The only thing we've talked about main events, I think, was Aleister Black against Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, I think that was the only one.
That was it. We reported that in the news.
That was WrestleMania weekend, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So, other than that, no. Anyway, let's move on to Smackdown.
On to the Rock Show, to the premier show, Smackdown.
Started off with Daniel Bryan addressing the situation of Dolph Ziggler, of him walking out last week, leaving the US title in the ring. Bryan said he was unable to get a hold of Ziggler, so due to that he says that Ziggler has relinquished the title and wishes him the best of luck, and says that although Ziggler's an all-time great, they do need to move forward, and he's honoured to have the US title on SmackDown and have a tournament to crown a new champion, where he announced that Baron Corbin will face Bobby Roode, and then we later saw Ty Dillinger against Jinder Mahal. Yeah. During that, then Gable and Benjamin arrived saying they want their title shots. Bryan said they lost the Clash of Champions, but Gable said it wasn't fair. They want their one-on-one rematch, not a match with New Day. English and Rusev, they beat the Usos last week, proving they should be champions. English and Rusev then came out, and the fans love Rusev. Like, that's probably one of the best things of SmackDown at the moment, how over Rusev is.
Yep. Rusev Day. His birthday's actually on Christmas Day as well.
Is that right?
Yeah. His birthday's actually on Christmas Day. Same as my brother.
How ironic is that?
Yes.
How ironic is that? Belated birthday to your brother, by the way. Yeah. Just English sings that he deserves a chance at the titles. The New Day arrive and tosses pancakes around for making their claim at title shots. Big E calls Shelton old Jason Jordan. Rusev cuts them off, and the crowd loves him for it. Rusev then asks Bryan if he has to ask his mommy Shane McMahon. Daniel Bryan then makes a triple threat match for title shots right there and there. It ends with Rusev laying Woods out and getting a double accolade from Gable and Woods.
That was brilliant. They should have won that match right there and then.
Yeah.
The crowd were so into that.
Yeah, it was awesome. Shelton makes the save, tags in and takes out English. He and Biggie brawl, but Biggie spears him to the floor to the ropes. Back in, the big ending is countered. Gable tags in and the Doomsday Bomb connects and Biggie is done. Great match.
Great match. And Chad Gable is showing how good he is.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
As we said it last week. Like he's probably the best mid-carder that they have at the moment.
And it's perfect with Shelton Benjamin, because Shelton Benjamin can just do his thing, but he can also help show off the skills of Chad Gable, because when Jason Jordan was with them, they were both two young lads, both trying to impress, which maybe could have caused a little bit of friction. But everyone, like, Shelton Benjamin's an established name. If someone needs to get over, he can help them get over.
On that note, do you think then that this could be the situation with Jordan and Rollins on Raw, where here's Rollins who's an established star giving Jordan the
He's not
room
as
to work?
established. That's the thing, though.
Okay.
He's not as established as
Experience as opposed to established.
I think, like, weighing it up, like, just seeing as that we're at the end of the year, I think Seth has kind of had a poor year.
Yeah, but that's mainly because of his injuries.
That's mainly booking.
Yeah,
I would say. But he's had nowhere near the year he had in 2015.
I think 2015.
2015, yeah.
So
that's when he was WWE champion.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, no, the highlight was Triple H. I think when you look back,
Triple H, yeah, probably.
Or even his feud with Joe as well. Like so.
The feud with Joe was okay.
Yeah. Backstage, Brian and Shane talk about their issues from last week. Shane discusses Brian saying that he is turning into Mr. McMahon. Shane puts Vince over, and Brian says Shane is acting like his dad, not in the good ways. Shane says Corbin was the US champion and Corbin versus Roode should be just for the title, but Brian says that it's all about opportunity. He also questions the booking of Owens versus Styles. Shane worries about Brian showing favoritism towards Owens and Sammy. Brian says AJ and Owens is a heated rivalry and they want to end with one more match. That actually was a class rivalry. Never thought about that, actually.
Well, I thought the matches were a little disappointing.
Well, the thing is, it was one of these matches. We talked about how
we hoped for so much more.
I think I agree with you. But it was a good rivalry, like, in a sense. The only thing is, remember how we talked about there were so many matches in Clash of Champions that had too many distractions on, let's say, the referees or the lumberjacks. I think the ending, certainly when Shane was involved, especially as the referee, put too much emphasis on that, maybe you could argue. Not as much.
It could have, but they had two other matches previously and it wasn't like that.
Maybe they were just booked in to just work as opposed to shit show.
It's obviously for storyline, so
yeah. The Bludgeon Brothers took on Breeze Dango. Straight squash.
Until the Ascension saved them.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. The Ascension then, they had said that they challenged the Bludgeon Brothers to another match next week. Do you think this will lead to a feud with the Ascension and Bludgeon Brothers? Which actually I'd be more keen to see.
No, Bludgeon Brothers are going to kill them.
They're more realistic challenges
they're
to them.
Kill them.
Probably are,
yeah,
but
they're going to kill them.
Ruby Wyatt took on Naomi.
Oh, you said it again.
What?
You said Wyatt.
Wyatt?
You said Ruby Wyatt.
Ruby Wyatt? Ruby Riots.
Yeah.
No. Naomi.
What was the name of the guy from Bugs Bunny?
What?
Remember the guy from Bugs Bunny the hunter? What was the hunter?
Oh, what was his name?
Oh, you sound just like him. I'm gonna get you, you pexy wabbit.
Let me look that up, actually.
Oh, it was such an iconic name as well.
There's fans right now.
They're shouting at their respected
Elmer Fudd.
Elmer Fudd, thank you. That was it.
You pesky rabbit.
Ruby White. She's Sister Abigail.
Naomi quickly fired back, hitting the disaster kick. Naomi takes down Morgan and Logan, but Ruby takes out Naomi's knee and hits the right kick for the win. Post-match,
It's a different sort of riot kick than it was previously.
Is it really?
Yeah. Normally it was like she'd stick the foot out and the person their face would land on the foot. Now it's sort of like a Insiguri sort of thing.
No, it was always like that when she had.
It wasn't, was it?
It was, yeah, it was like a Pele kick, except she had a wrist lock on her.
Oh, okay.
It was always. Like
I thought it was just like straightforward, like how Enzo does his one and.
No, it's nothing like that. No, it's nothing like that. No, it's basically an Insiguri with wrist lock.
Okay.
So no, it's class if you ask me. Post-match, the Red Squad beat down Naomi until Charlotte makes the save. The numbers game gets to Charlotte and they beat her down and toss her to the floor. Natalia, Lana, Tamina and Carmella arrive. The White the Wyatt squad bails,
Yeah.
but gets attacked anyway. They eventually run away.
So Natalia's back. Nothing's changed except she's smiling. Like, what was the point of that speech then?
Yeah, she was so upset afterwards.
Yeah, and I said it. I said, like, I hope it changes her gimmick, because she needs a gimmick that people take seriously, because her wrestling's so much better.
Maybe just take away her from the mic for now. Maybe it'll bring
just
down
take
any
her
heel.
away from the gimmick. Just put a normal gimmick on her. Just something that will
Just be-
focus her on the wrestling
Just be a heart lady.
instead of being like play homage to your family, not just
It's like
say it every
criticising
now and again.
It's like criticizing everyone else's, like,
Yeah.
you know. The first US tournament match, US title tournament match, Baron Corbin versus Bobby Roode, ended with Corbin taking Roode up top, laid in rights and followed him up.
Did you see the bracket for this, by the way?
I did.
It's not a lot of great names.
I-
You look at the names and you're thinking, okay, obviously the US title is a mid-card title, we know that.
Yes.
That's fine, we don't need the biggest names, but I thought there'd be someone else in it. I thought they'd at least have Sami Zayn in it.
I think he's still
Well, no, actually, they
involved in the storyline with
Yeah.
Owens and Shane, so I wouldn't agree with that.
But,
No, I'm for it. I
like,
think it makes
what
sense.
was it? Okay, so there was Dillinger and Mahal.
Dillinger, Mahal.
There's
Bobby
going to be
Roode and-
Mojo and Zack.
Yeah, that's next week, I think.
That's next week. What was the other one?
I'm
It's Xavier Woods and Aiden English.
Thank you. Why isn't Rusev actually in it? That's
Why
one
isn't
thing.
Rusev in it?
Rusev is a
like if you're
multiple-time
putting
US
tag
champion.
teams, if you're putting tag teams in it, why isn't Rusev in it? Why why for that sense isn't
Big E.
Big E or Kofi in it? I don't get that. That was a weird one. Like, or even why are you putting tag team members in it in the first place? Mike Kanellis hasn't done a thing. Why don't you put Mike Kanellis in it?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Well, I think what they're trying to do is, I think if
Who
you
else? There has to be someone else that's not mentioned in it.
Chad Gable, for one. If you're mentioning tag
not
teams,
tag team
if you're
members, we're
mentioning-
not counting.
But if you're mentioning tag teams,
What about he only fought for the title a couple of weeks ago against Baron Corbin, Sin Cara. You put him in a title picture for a while, and now you're just taking him out and you're putting tag teams in instead. Why couldn't you have done Mike Kanellis against, say, Sin Cara? You know?
It's interesting how they have Woods in English, though, especially Woods, who we've certainly since he's been in the main roster has been with mainly with New Day. We haven't really seen him much as a single star, realistically.
Yeah.
So it gives him an English opportunity to push it more, because one of them's going to be in the semis now against whoever. Like
Against Jinder. He's on Jinder's side of the bracket.
So I imagine it'll be Xavier Woods who'll get through then if that's the case.
Maybe.
So in this match, though, they trade strikes. Rude fights him off and knocks him to the mat. Rude leaps off, gets caught, but counters the choke breaker into a roll up for the win. It was a pretty good match, actually. Like the overall execution could have been better, but Rude sold well, like, you know. So it was right call to put him through, I think, rather than Corbin, who Shane argued certainly should be the guy straight away gone for the title, but in this case it wasn't the case. So
I'm not sure now what that means for Baron Corbin.
I think he could push more for the WWE title now as a result of this.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what their plans is for Rumble. So
It's hard to say. The other US title tournament match, Jinder Mahal against Ty Dillinger, ends with Mahal following a gutbuster for 2. Dillinger counters back, hitting the DDT for 2. Mahal takes out the knee, hits the Colossus for the win.
could they really?
As expected that
Could
match.
they really put the title on Mahal this close after losing the WWE?
I actually like it. Yeah, I'm all for that.
I'm all for him going for the mid-card title. That's okay but to put it on him this soon after losing WWE title, I might be a mistake.
AJ, similar.
AJ's in a different stratosphere to Mahal.
That's true, but still similar booking. Like even like
but does it warrant to have AJ and Jinder have a similar bookings?
I don't know.
I would disagree. I wouldn't say that.
Maybe. The Sami and Kevin, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were interviewed backstage. Kevin had champagne for after he won, like claiming it was supposed to be for Brian. Kevin said the last time
It was the same bottle that they had from last week.
Yeah. Hang on. It's the same bottle they had for last week. Yeah, I'm good. He said though that Kevin has the advantage of Sami be at ringside. He's better than Phenomenal because he's Kevin Owens. No one is invited to a victory party afterwards. Orton was interviewed then before the match, saying that he needs to start dealing with his own issues because he says he's been dealing with issues for Shane McMahon and so on and so forth, and officially enters the Rumble. Nakamura arrives and said it sounds like a good idea and he's ready to Rumble, so I imagine that means he'll be entering as well.
Enter it as well, yeah.
Do you see any of those guys being having impact on the Rumble? Certainly with Orton winning it last year.
Nakamura will.
I can see Nakamura actually being a huge favourite this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a SmackDown guy again this year.
I
if
agree.
they keep the Roman Reigns going against Brock,
Which I think makes more sense.
so they won't dare have Roman Reigns
Win the Rumble.
Win the Rumble, no way.
He doesn't need to.
Not again, not in Philadelphia, not again, not
No,
after
no.
last time.
But here's the thing. It's ironic as hell if that happens, but no, the thing is though, the very next pay-per-view is Elimination Chamber is a Raw pay-per-view. Decide, like, Reigns will win it.
Reigns
as a
will
number,
win that, yeah.
So it makes more sense than that, wouldn't it?
My two bets that I think would probably be there or thereabouts at the end, Shinsuke, and I'm going to say Rusev. I think Rusev is going to be there towards the end, yeah.
But if Nakamura wins the Rumble, it could set up AJ Nakamura at WrestleMania. That'd be a match of all matches right there.
Rusev.
Then
That's
AJ...
providing AJ's still champ.
Yeah, I can only imagine he will be. AJ versus Owens then for the title.
No, not for the title.
Sorry, AJ versus Owens, not
Non-title.
Sorry, I'm just AJ and with a title match like Nakamura's in my head now. It ended with Sammy distracting Styles, allowing Kevin to hit the super kick to a good near fall. Shane arrives, gives Sammy the boots. Styles had Kevin rolled up for the win, but Shane accidentally causes distraction, allowing Kevin to get the roll up for the win. Sammy and Kevin celebrate while Styles is quite angry at Shane. So
Gave him the look. He walked out without his title as well.
it was. Oh yeah, it's very similar to. It reminds you of the rivalry of last year, like, isn't it? So.
We still know. Maybe AJ could actually turn on Shane and start agreeing with Kevin and stuff.
Now here's the thing about Owens and AJ. We both said that although they claim to have a good rivalry, do you think that maybe the way they're holding back is the way they're booked, or is there something in their chemistry that isn't right, or
I'm
isn't
not
perfect?
sure. I would prefer to say booking
Yeah,
instead of chemistry, because those two they should be able to put on some great matches, and I'm sure they have in
Yeah.
Ring of Honor.
Oh.
I think so.
have they fought each other in Ring of Honor?
They would have to. They've had to cross paths at one stage.
I'm not sure because I think maybe you're right. I don't know when was his last year in Ring of Honor, so imagine it was close. So
Well, hopefully.
2013,
Well, maybe they
14,
have.
15.
Maybe have. I'm not too sure. I
Yeah.
still have to do the research on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to. Maybe it is chemistry. I don't know.
who knows?
But I would like to think that it's probably just booking.
Yeah, me too. Like it's about it depends on the environment, the type of match they can have, as opposed to how they're booked. But we'll have to see what happens. Very quickly, we'll just talk about 205 Live and NXT. Hideo Itami took on Jack Gallagher. Follow up from Raw. Ends with Itami follows with strikes, but Gallagher stunned him off the ropes, locked in the Kendrick's captain's hook. Itami fights, makes the ropes. Itami hits a backdrop, lays into strikes. Corner dropkick follows, followed by a GTS. Locked in a grounded octopus for the win. So that could be his finishing move from now on. It's like, by the sound of things. Perfectly good match. Kira Tozawa took on Tony Nese. Nese said before the match that he sees the Zo train. He'll want to lay them out, but Enzo's a global star, and the money, fame, and his career have only improved because of him. The match ended when they trade strikes in the ring. They worked up a series of counters, and Tozawa hits into Guri. Tozawa up on top. Nese cuts him off, slams him to the corner, and hits the running knee strike for the win. So it was Nese who pulled off the victory there. In the main event, a tag team match between Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali against Drew Gulak and Arya Daivari. Ends with Daivari and Ali tag in. Ali takes control, hits a drop kick, and then a corkscrew tope. The X-Factor follows, and Gulak makes the save. Daivari lays in the boots to him, sets him up top, but Gulak yells at him for being on top. Gulak being Gulak.
Yep.
Alexander hits Gulak with a lumber check. Ali hits the imploding 450, and that's that. Good match there. NXT very quickly. The Street Profits took on the team of Sean Macer and Riley Apex. Apparently, Macer is making a few impressions in the Evolve shows in America. It was a simple squash. They work over Apex, hit the pop spine buster and the frog splash for the win. After the match, Street Profits made a bit of a promo saying that they will conquer 2018, going after the tag titles. So, can you see the Street Profits making an impact in the tag division?
They're over with the crowd, so why not? Yeah.
Absolutely. Amber Moon took on Sonya Deville for the NXT Women's Championship match. It ended with Moon avoiding a knee strike and hitting the springboard dropkick. Corner forearm followed, with Moon then hitting the Eclipse to retain the title. After the match, Kairi Sane arrived. Looks like she was going to challenge Moon. She brought like a telescope, like pointing at the belts. But Shayna Baszler arrived and attacked Sane from behind, locking in a choke and choking her out on the stage. Probably getting some revenge from the Mae Young Classic finals.
Yep.
Ember Moon was interviewed afterwards about the incident. She says she knows he has a target on her back, but she tells them to prove it in the ring. And then the main events, this is a great main event. Johnny Gargano, Lars Sullivan, Killian Dane and Aleister Black in a fatal 4-way to decide the next challenger for NXT title. Brilliant. A lot of really good spots. Like, Lars Sullivan and Killian Dane, like, all of them it was really worked hard in this match, I thought. Mm-hmm. Big lads doing big things. That's what we have down here. It ended with a black mass following on I think it was on Sullivan, but Fish and O'Reilly broke it up, and Adam Cole attacked, hitting the last spot on the floor. Gargano took out Cole with a dive. He rolled Black back in. Lars missed a chance but hit the steps. Dean cuts off Gargano, but Gargano ran him into Lars. Gargano then hits a slingshot DDT into Black and wins. So a lot of really good talking points gone into that match. I mean, first of all, Johnny Gargano, like, who at one stage was doubting himself, and now he's number one contender.
Yeah. So
definitely interesting things there.
When's Tommaso Ciampa meant to be back?
That's the thing now. That now he'll be challenging Andrade Almas at the Raw Rumble NXT
end of January.
Yeah. Now, will we see Ciampa back then, or if Johnny Gargano wins the title?
No.
Will his first challenger be Ciampa?
No.
Do you think?
No, the Ciampa Gargano rivalry, you don't need to put a title on. You don't.
Really?
No, you don't. And I think it will add extra heat to it if Gargano's the one, or if Gargano loses because of a Ciampa interference. Because do you remember?
It makes more sense. I agree with you.
Do you remember? Almas and Gargano actually had a match at a takeover not too long ago. I think it was Chicago. Yeah, they did. They fought each other. Almas won after Selena Vega threw in a DIY shirt.
Oh yes, of course. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's what makes this match more interesting. Yeah. Like, in particular, like, so. Another talking point is probably the Cole and the gang, as I like to call them now.
Cole and the gang.
The rivalry now with them and Aleister Black.
Yes,
that'd be a great match now, because we had a very good match in the qualifiers for that, and I can imagine.
Can we see a Velveteen Dream maybe helping Aleister Black?
Why not?
I said it when they had their match. How good of a tag team they'd be together. The Black Dream, I'd call them.
That actually would be good, but that's a fancy booking right there. I'd love that to happen, but in what way? Like in a 3-on-2 handicap match?
Yeah. There's no problem with that.
Unless someone challenges Fish and O'Reilly for the tag titles, which I imagine it'll be Sanity or Office of Pain.
Probably. But I'm just saying, if he needs help at some stage.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a great way to bring Velveteen Dream into it. Helps him get over even more. So
I agree with you. No, that could work. But anyway, that's all the results of the week. When we return, we will talk about our previews of the week, our yes/nos, and we'll look back at the best bits of 2017 for us on the show right after this short break.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com. In the future, roving bands of comic book podcasts will savage the wasteland, once known as the Internet. One podcast, the Grawlix Podcast, may not be the biggest, may not be the funniest, may not be the most well-spoken. Wait, what was my point again? Oh yes, the Grawlix Podcast. Listen to it at grawlixpodcast.com. That's GRAWLIX podcast.com.
We're back here on 90.3 Near FM with the Kick Out, your weekly pro wrestling guide. The short breaks can continue on here.
I know. I thought I had time to go out to the bathroom. I obviously didn't.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, isn't it? So at this point now, we're going to just have a bit of a look back of 2017. This is obviously our second year doing the show, and we've had a lot of fun. It's our first full year now doing the show. So, and it's amazing, like how, like we're saying, we had our first year anniversary during the middle of the year now, and now we're here now a year and a half doing it, and it's our first full year now, and it was a lot. I was making this next bit we're going to play now, and it's a lot of funny stuff looking back.
There was actually some of the stuff brought back some memories. Like, did I really say that stuff?
Exactly.
But I did.
I feel like we're angry young man around this time last year.
There was definitely some anger. I'd say college had a big part of that. I was stressed with college.
I understand that, especially
that,
now.
or maybe just because the product wasn't good enough. I don't know, but it was definitely a darker period.
Absolutely. Whatever the case, though, here are some of our highlights now from the past year. We're coming to you live from the FM studios in the beautiful North Dublin village of Coolock, and we'll be here for the next 2 hours, bringing you all the latest news, previews, rumours, and more from the world of professional wrestling. This week's show, we're going to give you all the latest news from the world of pro wrestling, but here in the Bronx. What's funny?
You said wassling.
On this was show.
You said it.
Well, this has gone the bloopers at the end of the year, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is part of my New Year's resolution. I should have asked you, actually, what's your New Year's resolution this year?
What is my New Year's resolution? To drink less.
Drink less? Okay, mine is to watch less Raw.
Well,
and it worked very well this week because I didn't watch it. I just read the results and I'm happy I didn't.
I'll tell you what was more dramatic than that. On Thursday, like, I had my bike stiffened up and I had the most dramatic hour, like, trying to get home and stuff like that. I'm holding you responsible for that now.
Yeah, sir, that was me. That actually wasn't me. My dog got a hold of the voodoo doll.
Okay.
And she started running around with it.
Okay.
So that's how you fell off your bike.
So are you saying your dog owes me a buckled wheel?
No. Good luck trying to get it out of her. You won't. All she'll probably do is either lick your face or bark. So
she's so but I seen your dog. She's very sweet. Like, I don't know if she'd want to do that to her. Like, you know. So.
Exactly. Why would you do that to her? She's only a puppy.
I know.
She's not ready for this responsibility, Dave.
You're right. It's on you then. It's kind of strange, isn't it? Like, you know, how, like,
I think it's a little strange. He still has a 360 and he's playing it.
so how?
AJ, did you not upgrade to an Xbox One at this stage? I think you have the money now for it.
Nah, to be fair, I know a lot of people who play PlayStation 2 and Game Boys, so I can sympathise them in that sense. Like, you know, you have to stick old school sometimes.
Okay.
But it was interesting how they had face and the best part is they dragged him out of the ring. When Dean Ambrose does his spot where he goes in and out of the ropes, let me take it, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
And he still separated the faces.
Actually, I was meant to mention that because it's a commentary mention for this, but it's Mauro Ranallo. Any of Dean Ambrose's signature moves, he just puts Lunatic at the front of it.
Lunatic Dirty Deeds.
So he does Dirty Deeds he leaves as it, but it's Lunatic Lariat, Lunatic Elbow Drop, Lunatic Bounce off the ropes. But okay, we get it. He's the lunatic.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because Mauro Ranallo is my favourite play-by-play guy at the moment.
Of course.
Like, you know, so at least he sells it. Like, you know, I don't get me wrong, I don't mind Michael Cole either, but like the Mauro Ranallo, he oversells everything. Like, and he makes it exciting. It was like JR back in the day. Yeah. JR was obviously way better play-by-play. But he also had this moments where he was like, "Oh my God, interference!" But like, but in a way, Mauro sort of does that as well. Not as dramatic, but it's still up there. Like,
as dramatic as you can be in PG.
Yes, perfect. Yeah. Although they're kind of edging a bit more between.
They are being a little
PG now.
edgier. Yeah.
Especially on Smackdown.
Yeah.
It seems like Revival's tights is just generic tights. They just plaster the logo onto them. If you never noticed, like how different all their gear looks.
Yeah.
They have like black tights. And I think it's Scott Dawson who has the black tights with like flame boots, and then Das Wilder has like black similar as well, but he has all black boots, but he has the logos in the shoes as well. So it seems like they're buying stuff off pennies and just put the logos on. Then it goes to the t-shirt shop there in St. Stephen's Green or something like that. It's like, can you put our logo on this, please?
That's like proper indie wrestler right
That's
there.
That's a proper indie wrestler. Lads, come on, you're making a few bop now. You're in NXT. And just on that, it was announced the Scrappermania card, and we're like, oh my God, the Young Bucks. And then when it said I'm like, what could possibly be better than the Young Bucks? I'm not joking you, the place exploded when Kenny Omega was announced.
You text me. I was at a 21st.
This was literally
that same night, and you were texting me, sending me pictures. And I was just looking at it, and I didn't even care about the 21st anymore. I was looking at,
it was like ... what?
God, yes.
It was like unbelievable. Funny about him. Some of the crowd noticed this. I'm not laughing at this. He had the tights of Kylie Minogue.
He had the gold tights.
Yeah. Like, for anyone who ever seen the video spinning around, is that what it's called?
Spin me around. Or something like, from spinning around, something like that.
Where she has the gold hot pants. It's like that, except it's in tights. So when someone in the crowd yelled that, we literally almost fell off our chairs.
They were singing it. It was great.
Yeah. we started Raw with like Kevin Owens suited up again.
Like, full suit this time as well.
Full suits, tie and all. Yeah, and he's not showing.
He must have got a promotion from head bouncer to, managing multiple nightclubs instead.
No, as I said, remember I told you when he first had the suit that he looks like the guy from Barcodes. It must be that guy from Barcode's boss now or something like that. Like he must be the guy up in the. It's like an Irish version of Scarface. He's up on the top of the balcony. He can see everywhere down there towards Barcodes, but he's just wearing a tie now.
Yeah.
He's probably the second in command behind Triple H or something like that. So, I mean,
you know the joke that we had for a while that he kind of looks like a bouncer.
Now he definitely no. Now he looks like a promoted. Now he looks like the owner of a nightclub.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
He's gone up in the world.
Not one of the sleazy owners, just the ones that have doing well nightclubs. A owner of a nightclub that's not doing well at all.
Oh, so he's relegated in other words.
Yes, he's the out of luck.
He's gone from rights venue to Mangoes essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a very great description. Fantastic. I applaud you for that, sir, if I could.
I think you could. Yeah. Happened was, at the very start of the match, Trent Seven was shaking everyone's hands, and he and by the time he came to me, he was like, his eyes were like gasped wide open, saying,
I wonder why that is. I can't tell.
Because my beard is the size of my face at this stage, that's why.
Oh, that's true. You don't have a face anymore.
Yeah, it's completely covered by his beard. And he came and he went up and he was like, lads, check up this guy here. Taylor Bay came up to this, twiddled my moustache. Then Pete Dunne to the other side, and I was so in awe by the whole thing, it just collapsed. By the way, Amy and Nathan, if you're listening, I'm so sorry I collapsed on you. I didn't actually apologise to you since. I'm sorry about that. And then mid-match, Pete Dunne then was bending the fingers of Damien Corvin, and actually Al Byrne, who was like a few seats down to me, was like biting and twisting the fingers like the way they do. Yeah. Right beside me, then Trent Seven came up to me. He was chopping Duncan decidedly in the chest. I'm like, hey, you with the mustache, do you want to have a go? You want me to have a go? Fantastic. Hit him as hard as I possibly could. Like, it echoed in the whole place apparently, and everyone was like, God almighty, where'd you learn how to chop like that? Trent Seven gave me like, oh my God, give us your hand there. Give us your hand there. It was such a moment. I was devastated I couldn't meet them after. But
so when are you getting booked for Scrappermania?
I'm telling you right now, very strong style with an Irish twist. He'll take everything from you. Just think about what he said to Ambrose.
Don't have a lot. He's all right.
Yeah, what will he take from you?
My slot here on the show.
You know, he does talk very well. Just so
he does talk very well.
You seen him on Talking Smack?
Oh, so are you trying to replace? Are you actually entertaining this idea?
You suggested
you
this.
were entertaining this idea.
You suggested this. No, sorry, who came up with the idea?
No, come on, Dave.
I
thought we were better than that together.
No, listen, I never replace you. Don't be silly.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting to see if they go to WWE. I was asking this to Low Blows in their last podcast, and they were going and asked them if Broken Matt Hardy went to WWE, what would he call all his fellow wrestlers? Like, and some of the responses back from Aaron and Rick were really funny. Like they called what was it? I think it was the man with the lists. I think for Chris Jericho, or the man who can't be seen for John Cena. That was my favourite ones. Or the KO man for Kevin Owens. I think it was
the KO man. That's good. That could be okay.
Can you think of one on the fly?
On the fly. They said the Day of New, didn't they?
Yeah, they said the Day of New. I said Joe of Samoa when giving an example.
Joe of Samoa. Interesting.
That's an easy one. So.
Yes. I don't know. See,
it's tough, isn't it?
Yes. I don't know. The kicker of lass.
The kicker of lass.
Yeah, Becky Lynch.
The kicker of lasses.
Yeah, the kicker of lasses.
Yeah,
Becky Lynch.
The kicker of Irish lasses. There you go.
No, the Irish kicker of lasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Ireland's kicker of lasses.
Ireland's kicker of lasses.
See, be as broad as possible with it as well. That's what's the key to it.
Anyone's other than that, and coming to my mind straight away.
They said, I got another one. They called not Charlotte Bailey the hugger of children.
oh, the one who is phenomenal.
Oh,
yes,
simple one.
The one who is phenomenal.
That's a pretty straightforward one. This is like New Year's Day for us.
It's like Christmas. It's like Christmas. Would you call it Christmas Eve because all our Anlo's on tonight?
It's like this is like Christmas Eve because it's
yesterday was Christmas Eve. This is like that weird point between like 11, 12, like 11 and midnight on Christmas Eve and going into Christmas Day.
No, I'll tell you what. This is Christmas Eve, and maybe we could say Christmas Days was 2 days. Let's say Christmas Day 1 and Christmas Day 2.
This is Christmas Day's breakfast, and then tomorrow WrestleMania is Christmas Day's dinner,
and then New Year's Day is Raw the next day. Makes sense, right? Or Stevens' Day.
No, I was going to say that could be Stevens' day.
Yeah.
That could be Stevens' day.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. And then maybe, then we'll go from there.
So we're getting too far into it at this stage. Let's just quit while we're ahead. There are no more beach
People
balls.
went up to you saying, "Do you have any more beach balls?" And
No.
I was like,
There are no more beach balls.
So yeah, and as I said, like a few of them were going around Raw and Smackdown, so more than one good use, not just for the beach.
It wasn't just WrestleMania, it was Beach Ball Mania.
Oh, it was Beach Ball Mania, you can say that again. 2,200 people sold out the event in the National Stadium. It was something else. The atmosphere was...
No.
No?
No.
No?
No.
What's on?
No. They
went
ran
happy?
out with drink.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't see anything. Foxy kept getting in the way.
Well,
he wasn't doing his job right.
Yeah, but...
No.
No?
It was terrible.
You didn't like it at
It
all?
was terrible. And I don't care if I get a load of abuse for it. I'm going to keep this up now and I'm not going to delete it.
You do realise that we're going to have to take down this when we post it.
Yeah, right.
The advantages of doing your show later on the week.
20 minutes. 20 minutes and it should have been gold. It was crap.
Didn't like it?
I thought it was crap. I thought they were all too lovey-dovey and Miz was just there and this was the thing I feared so much about Miz going on to Raw. He's getting thrown to the side, he's getting crap, the same word again, crap.
Right.
He's getting crap sort of
That's
segments.
acceptable. Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, anything, like, on SmackDown it works, but anything Raw touches just turns to it just turns to just
No, okay. No, okay.
and that was Raw this week. Like, obviously we are a radio show, we can't curse, but I'm making an exception this week for Raw.
Don't worry.
Because it was
In general.
so
In general.
a 20-minute segment for three guys that should have made gold. It didn't make gold, it made We had a dumpster match.
We're going to get kicked off the air.
We had a dumpster match. A dumpster match. The only thing that goes in dumpsters was but Braun Strowman went into it instead. And then he locked Kalisto into it and threw it off the stage. A stage which is about 6 inches high. Oh, it was
It
so
still looked
awful.
It still looked painful.
And then they set back the women's division 10 years with Alicia and Emma and Dana. And what the hell was that? What was it?
I don't know. Well, what do you mean by that? Like the
match itself was awful.
the finish wasn't great, if I'm honest. Yeah.
The whole match was.
Well, the finish.
They tried to do an international at the start and they couldn't even do that properly.
Ugh. Let me just be clear about this.
So just me, I'm
Wait.
the only reason.
Wait, remember that rant you did a few weeks ago about Raw where you sweared a lot?
Yeah.
You've no idea how many complaints I got about that?
None.
No, this is what you think. I got plenty on YouTube. I
Oh,
got a
people
huge
listen.
copyright. Yeah. And people were telling me that you're this close, next swear word, and we're gone. Because we can't advertise anymore. I'm only joking, obviously, man. Oh, you sweared again, didn't you? Man, okay. Right.
This is our last show.
This is our
Goodbye,
last show.
everyone. We almost made it to a year.
Oh, I was just going to mention that at the end, and now not only are we not user friendly anymore, we're off. We're going to be off the air, man.
We're gonna be done.
Yep, that's it.
Dave,
We've
I
got
had a
last
great
one.
time with you anyway. Don't ever call me again.
You're that angry, aren't you?
No. Well, Dave, what you're wearing today is something that would definitely put in jail for.
I'm just
Yeah,
wearing a normal
it's-
t-shirt and jeans.
Yeah, but it's dark. It's sunny out, Dave. You gotta be wearing those bright colours.
I'm not a man for bright colours.
Dave, I don't care. I am the fashion police commissioner.
Give me a ticket then.
I won't give you a ticket. I'll just throw straight in fashion jail.
Okay,
I
fine.
won't even give you a ticket. That's worse. That's like on level of crimes against fashion.
Oh dear.
That's like you've got JBL level with the hat, and now you're in a different stratosphere right
God
now.
knows what you'd be like. Well, God knows what you'd be like if I had my bandana on today.
Oh, don't get back into the bandana. I only just got you out of the bandana.
No. I don't wear the bandana all the time. It's just now and then.
No.
It keeps me cool in the summer, right? Despite how dark it is. And if anything, I agree with the sense that dark.
Well, at least I'm happy you're not worried about looking cool.
I don't try to look cool. I try to be me.
Yeah, that's a good thing because you're not pulling it off. Already text Fandango and Tyler. They're on the way.
Oh dear.
Yeah, they've got their very fashionable handcuffs, and they're going to be arresting you soon.
I can hear their ninos from distance.
It's not Ninos. It's Nenenos. Nenenos.
Nenenos.
Nenenos. Nenenos.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's fashionable.
No surprise though, because you've been calling that for weeks.
I know, right?
Weeks.
I've said it, he'd be the perfect member of the Bullet Club.
He is.
And I'm right. And he joined last night. If you're not aware of what we're talking about, last night at War of the Worlds Ring of Honor's pay-per-view, Marty Scurll, I should say, joined the Bullet Club, kicking Adam Cole out. To be fair, before we get into it, we'd be complaining if there wasn't enough wrestling. I know there's too much. There's a lot of it, and we're complaining that's too much.
We're wrestling fans.
We're a fickle bunch. We are.
We're a fickle bunch. Exactly. No, but it's natural for wrestling fans to always complain about everything.
Yeah.
So you're always. What I really liked about doing this show over the past year is how I feel, and I can probably speak for both of us here, how much more we know about wrestling, not just in WWE,
Yeah.
but in the indies everywhere. Like I guarantee I didn't know anything about the British indies, or
No.
not that much. I was only when I started going to OTT. My first OTT was only April last year. And that's when I first heard of Will Ospreay and Marty Scurll and all this stuff. I never heard these guys before. It was the same the year before that because I never heard of Finn Balor. Now we know. Now, and in large part thanks to the internet, of so much more that we know now. It's crazy.
I totally agree. I think outside of OTT, I'd known OTT. I hadn't gone to an event, but starting now to do this show, that I've gone to more events. I've, like you said, widened my knowledge. Basically, for the year, I don't know about yourself, but I basically studied WWE like it's a college course.
Pretty much.
And
not just its wrestlers, but its inner workings.
Exactly. Oh, is that another lampshade that you need fixing there, Dave? Is it? I can do some outside jobs.
How ironic is that?
I'm not solely contracted to Parnell's GAA club. I can do it here near FM.
It seems like as soon as a lampshade is brought up, everything around us is breaking.
I know, right?
The side of the desk it just fell on my foot. And now
you could swear I put these traps on purpose so I could get some work out of it.
probably.
I'll give you a good price. Though.
That's it. Well, listen, when was the last time you had to repair a lampshade on a situation like that?
For a situation like that,
Yeah.
oh, that'd be 1904.
1904.
1904 when Big Jimmy Havoc. That's right, Jimmy Havoc's dad, who used to be called Big Jimmy Havoc, came over from England to fight.
Okay.
This was a boxing match, though. It was no wrestling match.
Okay.
He knocked his opponent clean out of his boots, and the boots stayed on the ground, but the boy didn't. The boy went flying into the air.
Why are you speaking with an accent?
I have no idea. We were recording this on a Friday night. I've worked an 11-hour shift. I've had a lot of coffee. I'm quite delusional
And since
right
when?
now.
I thought you were 27, 28. What's this 1904s, Mackie? You're 100 and something, are you?
I'm like Benjamin Button right now.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except though, the older I get, the younger I get, sort of thing. No, it's kind of like I started. Well, it's actually I started old and I'm coming back. I'm 70. I was. What? Now I'm technically 100.
You're a man of many talents, apparently. You're growing younger by the minute. Anyway.
If only, Dave. If only.
Yeah. Here's me getting greys in my beards. Remember that.
So what? I'm just gonna get a salmon. I'm gonna slap him in the face with it.
No. Yeah, you could do that, but you can also sabotage them as well by teasing. What was that tuna ad a few years ago where there was some guy who kicked a bear in the balls by stealing his fish or something like that?
Wasn't it it was the early John West tuna ones, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, they had the big fifer.
Yeah. Look over there.
I could do that. Or I could just show him a picture of The Miz, because I'm sure he's frightened to death of The Miz at this stage.
Yeah, probably right.
Getting 2 skull-crushing finales in 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's taking a beating from him. So they're both attention seekers.
Yeah, they can't live without it.
This is a story I feel we'll be talking about a lot for the next few weeks, but it's more for entertainment purposes.
I actually do it. It'll be one of those you see in the news. Oh, he's after saying this. Oh, he's after saying that. I'll be honest.
It's all he said stuff.
I don't care. I really don't care about either of them.
I don't know. I keep him happy. I'd be entertained by the story, but it doesn't mean I like
him
anymore.
If you want to just sit back and grab your popcorn and watch it, go ahead.
Yeah.
Not
for you.
Look, it's 2 people fighting for whatever little limelight there is there for them, which I actually don't even think is there in the first place. I think it's just a picture.
For the last marshmallow square, I feel like in the middle of the table. I want it. No, I want it.
I think it's for the scraps that are falling off the table.
There you go.
That's what they're fighting for.
There you go. Let's settle this right now. Let's prove right now before we go which siren sounds right. I have a clip here now of Roman Reigns saying it's his yard before Roman Reigns comes out. Okay. Okay, I can play here. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Siren.
All right. No, hold on. This is actually. It sounds more similar to it now. From.
Now you're just waiting for holler if you hear me.
No, hold on. I'll tell you what. Let's stop that. Let's play Scott Steiner's one, and if it sounds exactly like that, then I'm sold. But I just wasn't convinced first time round. But I'm pretty certain it wasn't. But let's just be sure. It's exactly the same. Okay. No, I was wrong. I was pretty certain it was.
Holler if you hear me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was actually the best line. But the thing is, though, we'll talk about it later on. But that's actually that was the best line. But that was actually not included on when WWE's edited for it afterwards.
I know on their YouTube video they took it out.
That's disappointing. That is so disappointing.
You kind of half expected it though, really.
Toriano, there's something about Toriano that really infuriates me. I don't know what it is.
Really?
I love. He's such a funny guy, but he's probably the most. He's like the Japanese Eddie Guerrero, if that makes sense, in the sense where he would cheat, but people would still cheer him,
Yeah.
And the tactics he used are so clever at the same time, like removing the turnbuckle to distract the referee and stuff like that. Like the Omega match, for example.
You just removed every single turnbuckle.
Yeah.
And
he gave him a DVD full of powder, and
present for you,
and Omega almost gave the one-winged angel to the referee as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god! So it was so funny.
When they were pulling each other's hair, the referee had to do a jump off the second rope too.
I didn't notice that jump actually. Yeah. I was so fixated with their hair pulling at the time. So
look, if he is a traditionalist, that's fine. But why? I don't get why there's so much weight put behind his opinion.
It's because
I know he's been involved in the business and stuff like that, but it's the same reason why a big issue in WWE at the moment is Vince McMahon, is the fact that wrestling has evolved, but these people aren't willing to evolve with it.
The problem is that his opinion, because it's not naturally negative to someone who's very popular like Joe Ryan, even Mick Foley, that creates tension. Now, whether he's meaning to do that or not is anybody's guess. You could obviously speculate that it is, but the fact is, naturally people go ballistic over a negative reaction to anything, especially over extremely popular.
People don't react well to criticism, obviously.
Yeah,
no one does.
Well, it depends how it's said, in my opinion.
No, okay, not criticism, but negativity. Then
maybe,
yeah, negativity, not criticism, but
negativity.
Negativity. Because yes, you can have constructive criticism. You're right,
perhaps.
But that's the thing. I really didn't care. I sound like a robot here talking like that. What did you do for your talent?
Well, for my talent, I did. You've ever seen the video evolution of dance?
Yes, I did.
Basically, I did the wrestling version of that, but inside 5 minutes. We couldn't go over 5 minutes.
Okay.
So I did. My audio I sent him was 4 minutes 59 seconds.
Okay.
So
give me an idea of some of the music that was played.
So obviously we had to start with Evolution.
Of course.
Because
Evolution of Dance Evolution makes sense.
So the first four were Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton, and Ric Flair. Then it went into guys like Dusty Rhodes, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Honky Tonk Man, Rick Rude. Had to take off my shirt for Rick Rude and toss it at Danny. And Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Vince McMahon, which Aaron was lied about because he said beforehand he had promos before. He's like, oh no, once I see Vince walk, I'm a happy man. Your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler, the Jewish canon, the physical embodiment of charisma, the most entertaining man in pro wrestling, Mr. Americarana, Davey Wrestling, the 104-minute man, the main event, the king of taunts, the product. I love the cream in your coffee one for some reason. I don't know why. I wonder why he's called the 104-minute man. Did he have a 104-minute man? Did he have a match that long before?
Must have.
That's a long match.
Must have been in a battle royale sort of scenario.
Maybe.
What culture got me 9 points ahead in the prediction league?
Yeah. What culture got you 9 points ahead?
This thing right here, this brain.
Give yourself
right
credit.
Here.
Give yourself credit.
Oh, my right hand's going over my left shoulder. It's giving myself a pat on the back. Right here, look. Right there.
I'm gonna look up your arse if you
right
ask
there.
me.
Oh,
we're coming to you live from the RFM Studios in the beautiful.
Loser.
I'm not. No. You're just milking it in so much right now because the first time since we started, that you're in the lead so
Exactly.
far.
So why shouldn't I milk?
I suppose you have every right to glow, but I was being humbled the whole time. I'm aware of the fact that it was always going to be competitive.
Dave, you
And they
attacked
gloat.
me at one of our videos.
You called my beard. I won't say it on there. You know what I'm talking about.
You still attacked me.
You deserved it.
You still attacked me.
It makes it
I
hurt.
distinctly remember you running around the table chanting yes.
That's because you were so upset. Like, that's you.
No.
You know what? You're right. I can't say anything. I'm just as childish. Someone left their CD in here.
Naughty boys.
Where's the manners, lads?
Naughty, naughty, naughty.
I mean, Christmas spirit and all, but still.
What? Christmas spirit and all? But take your CDs.
I don't want your gift of what is this? I don't want your gift of classic Celtic music from Samson Folkways.
Oh man. I don't know why the mics aren't up sometimes with us.
So there you go. It's mad here.
A lot of the time I actually don't even know the mics are up and then you're secretly recording us.
No, to be fair, that last bit was just one of those bits where we're just like, we're testing the sounds, and we just thought, why don't we just do that more often? And we just came up with some weird thing where
I have to be careful what I say around you from now on. I don't know what you're recording.
You get away with murder what you say anyway. It had to. You know, remember that time when it had to beep? God knows how many times. It was fun at the time to edit, but here's me sweating, thinking, oh no, what's going to happen now?
Yeah, I was in the groove that day.
You were in the groove
I was
that
just
day.
going for it.
To be honest with you, I've had the odd rant. Not as many as you. Not as many as
What
you.
was your rant about? Was it a Finn Balor rant, wasn't it?
Over Finn, but
yeah,
now,
you had your Finn Balor rant.
But now that
Surprised that wasn't added in.
yeah, it's true. No, I thought about it, but thinking about it now, I think I'm thinking more about the Finn Balor situation. Thinking maybe it's all happened for a reason.
I told you that, but you still didn't listen to me the day you ran.
At the time, I didn't. At the time, I didn't. That's what I was angry at the time, but now I'm thinking about it more. It takes me a while to think.
See what happens when you don't listen to me, Dave.
I do listen.
But you didn't then.
I didn't then, but I listened later.
Yeah, but you gotta listen then.
I heard at the time, I disagreed, and then I thought about it more. I'm a slow listener.
Slow learner.
Slow learner.
Slow
Yes,
learner.
that's part of it. Yeah, that's slow learner. Now let's continue on our show with our previews of the week.
Why, look at what we have here, folks!
We just have a couple of previews to bring up this week. Tomorrow at New Year's Eve, PWU's The Blitz will be happening at the S13 in Belfast. Tickets are still available on tickettailor.com. A lot of the matches were announced actually in the past week. Of course, Katie Taylor, we know, will be defending her PW Women's title against Lauren LaRue. Phil Boyds will be defending his All-Ulster title in a triple threat match against Michael May and ICW's Lionheart. Should be a very good match. A rubber match between Tucker and Chris Renfrew, who apparently not this year, last year in 2016 went 1-1 against each other. They fought each other in the end of year pay-per-view in 2016 and during their Celtic Cup as well. So they're 1-1 with each other at the moment. So it's a bit of tension now. I think they're going back and forth on Twitter. And here we go. It's their last match.
Good.
Rocky Star will take on the Primates. Remember the Primates that was in What Culture Pro Wrestling at the time?
Yes.
Against Rocky Star. Should be an
Cool.
interesting match. Now a bit of a change of plan with the original plan for the Blitz match, which I think is a Battle Royale match. 20 man. It was originally supposed to be for the rights to face for the PWU Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
During the week, Dig Templeton, their champion, resigned from Pro Wrestling Ulster, and therefore the title is now vacant. Therefore,
he got in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, something to do with Twitter. Yeah, he had Twitter away with someone.
Yeah.
So
He had around with a lot of people.
yeah. So the 20-man Blitz match is now for the PW Heavyweight Championship, so it should be very interesting there. LJ Cleary, Nathan Martin, Justy, Wreck-It Rogers, JDP, Tim Steeds, the Rocky Star Experience are all set to appear on that card. It'll be very interesting now because there's a lot of guys coming up from from Dublin to compete in that match, so it should be very interesting who will come out on top there. So for the title as well. Also, on Thursday, 4th of January, The guys from Low Blows Wrestling Parties will be holding the first ever New Japan Pro Wrestling show in the while they're showing off Wrestle Kingdom 12 at Buskers in the Ball. There's still tickets available on eventbrite.ie. Drink and food promos are on the night, and they're showing the full cards from 5 o'clock to 11 o'clock. So it's not like their usual late shows, which run to like the early hours of the morning.
Yeah.
This works for anyone who, if you're coming from work, you can come straight there and enjoy Wrestle Kingdom. And they released a very good video explaining what's going on in New Japan that Rick did. So if you're a new fan, like you've never heard of New Japan, this is an ideal show to check it out. It's their WrestleMania. So
yeah, crazy thing is Rick won't actually be at it this next week.
I'm so jealous of
He'll
him
be
right
in
now.
Japan actually watching it live.
Yeah,
the lucky SOB.
yeah. So anyway, that's our previews of the week. Now let's move on and finish and continue on our show now with our yes nos.
Yes, no! Yes, no! Yes, no!
Now, because this is the last show of 2017, we have a lot more yes nos than usual, because there's obviously a lot of speculation for a lot of things next year. So we're going to talk about some yes nos, obviously gone around at the moment, but also going into next year as well. So we'll start off with New Japan Pro Wrestling to make a video game next year.
Yes,
That'd be class.
that'd be really good. Who would make it though?
That's the thing, like,
Konami.
I imagine
They make good games, like their Pro Evolution games are visually very good.
be interesting to see, like, it'd be great so to play with like all the guys in the Bullet Club and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like finally in the video game, instead of putting them all into the WWE games, which is good as it is. Like, it's not great to have the actual whole roster.
I didn't like 2018. I've already gotten rid of it.
Really?
Yeah, just wasn't into it.
I'm still playing 17. That's how slow I am. The Bullet Club show set for Chicago.
Yeah, it looks like it after you were saying earlier on. So I'll say yes. I haven't seen much of it, but I'm going to say yes.
Interesting thing about that now is, do you think now, because it's in Chicago, it could possibly set up the attraction of both Daniel Bryan
I know who you're going to say.
and CM Punk?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think so.
Even as an appearance, I wouldn't expect him to wrestle, but even as an
He
appearance,
might be in the crowd.
maybe.
But I wouldn't think he's going to actually take part in it.
Vince to ban the one fall chance in WWE.
How are you going to do that?
The way he's doing it, apparently, is that he's encouraging the ring announcer. You know how there's that gap between?
Oh, to not put the gap in.
Yeah,
Yeah, people are still going to chant it though.
I know, but it's basically discouraging them to eventually it'll fade, and because apparently Vince hates that chance.
Really?
Hates it. I can't understand why, but he just.
Okay.
Dolph Ziggler to stay in WWE for this US title angle as opposed to leaving.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I actually don't know what's going on.
I don't think, like, there's something tells me that he actually isn't going to leave. Like, I don't know why. Like, he's just there as part of an angle, because apparently he's
Yeah.
still wrestling in house shows, I think so.
I don't know. I haven't heard much about the house shows, about him wrestling on it. So I really don't know what's going on with him. I prefer him to leave.
It could be better for him, but then again, we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
Now, the rest of the S-Nos are obviously now more to see to going into next year now. Shinsuke Nakamura to win the Royal Rumble.
Like I said, it's going to be down. I'm going to be down to him and Rusev. So I'll say yes to set up the AJ Styles match.
Yeah, and as we talked about, like, if it's Reigns and Brock that will face each other for the Universal title,
Yeah.
and Reigns doesn't have to win the Rumble necessarily for that, it would make more sense for a SmackDown guy to win it. And if Styles as WWE champion makes the best matches against Nakamura, you could argue.
Yeah.
On Reigns and Brock for the Universal title at WrestleMania.
Reigns versus
Brock.
Brock. Yeah. It's been in the works for ages. It's not going to stop.
And to be fair, they've sort of booked it, not mentioning it all the time, but like it's mentioned casually throughout the year as well. So
Yeah. People don't want it, but I think Vince is saying screw you.
I can't see it. I can't see why it wouldn't be a bad match though.
Yeah.
The MMA 4 Horsewomen against the WWE 4 Horsewomen next year.
Looks like it.
Like,
Yeah.
I think they're all getting trained up to this point.
They
now.
are. It's definitely, obviously Shayna is obviously in NXT.
Yeah.
Ronda is wrestling training. I don't know about the others yet.
One
One
of
of them
is.
One of them is. The other one isn't, because she just had a baby, so that's fair enough. So when she comes back, When she's healthy enough to train, then we'll see.
Do you think though there could be a 3-on-3 with one on the side until that happens? Maybe if she's still in maternity
No, I
leave,
think
so
they
to
won't
speak.
have the match until she's ready.
Yeah, it could be SummerSlam or Survivor Series by next year.
SummerSlam, I'd probably guess that.
Yeah, Survivor Series could be interesting as well because that'd be a long time between now and then.
Yeah.
The-
Elimination style for Survivor Series could work, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. The Women's Elimination Chamber to take place next year.
We said this last year as well, and we said yes to it, and it never happened.
But this year, because they had the Rumble,
It's the only thing left that they haven't done that they need to do.
pretty
isn't
much,
it?
yeah.
I'll just say yes for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I think it could work.
They
like-
have the women to do it.
They
now,
definitely
so.
have the women to do it. We weren't sure because if they had the women to
They
do it
did last year. They did though. It was the whole roster, but they did have it.
Whereas now they have more. They already have. They already
More
have
choice, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So finally, Daniel Bryan to leave WWE next year,
Oh, this is a tough one.
isn't it? See, it really depends because, like,
It depends. Like, it was a good sign at Night of Champions when he took the bump.
yeah, it was more of a fall than a
It
bump,
took
though,
a bump.
if you say so.
Um,
Why you reacted to that? Wait. Well, here's the thing.
like I don't. I think WWE are more open to it. It all depends what the tests say.
The thing is, though, even despite what the tests did say from WWE, there's a lot of speculation that if Shane and Daniel Bryan wrestle at SummerSlam, which we talked about last week, there's a speculation that if Daniel Bryan loses, then he'll have to leave WWE.
Yeah. Loser leaves SmackDown sort of match or something
Something like that, yeah. So that could be the egg on there. So,
Could be.
and then he could wrestle wherever he wants. Then, like New Japan or
Yeah.
Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor will open the doors to him. So,
Yeah. But the schedule, he wouldn't be able to have it too much of an intense schedule.
yeah.
And I think at WWE that'd be the best place for him. So I'm going to say no,
Okay.
because I think WWE would give him the best schedule possible that they could.
So, like, is it
Like wrestling maybe no more than maybe 15 times a year.
like a Brock schedule?
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
Okay.
A
Now,
Brock Cena one.
yeah, something like that. Yeah. Now, very quickly, we Wrestle Kingdom 12 now, just around the corner. I think we should make our predictions for that now. So
I think so,
I've
yeah,
all the matches right here, right in front of me. So
Okay.
we'll get to them. We got obviously from the lowest to the
Yes.
top, the way they do it themselves. First of all, a gauntlet match for the Never 6-man tag team titles. Guerrillas of Destiny and Bad Luck Fale against Beretta, Ishii, and Beretta, Tomohiro Ishii, and Toru Yano. Zack Sabre Jr., Taichi, and Iizuka from the Suzuki Gun, and Juice Robinson, Ryosaka Taguchi, and Toga Makabe. That could be anyone's match, really.
Who's the champs at the moment?
God and Bad Luck Fale.
Are they?
Yep. I think the champs before that were Nosa Nagables.
I thought no. Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Evil, Sonata, and was it Bushi?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think God and Bad Luck Fale beat them. I don't know. Maybe we must have missed where the match was. It probably was during the World Tag League.
I'll just say keep the titles on then the champs. Bad Luck Fale and God.
Okay, I'm for that as well. Hair versus hair match for the Never Openweight Championship. Minoru Suzuki defends against Hiroki Goto.
Goto.
I'm going to go Suzuki.
I think Goto. I think Suzuki's more willing to get his head shaved than Goto.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Well, then again, you haven't seen him with blonde hair yet, have
Yeah,
you?
you showed me. I'm not happy with it.
See, he's willing to change his hair,
Yeah.
so that's the thing.
No, he's pretty much bald already, apart from the back. So
That's it, yeah. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. Roppongi 3K defends against the Young Bucks.
yeah, the Young Bucks lost their titles against them as well. I don't remember this happening either.
This was how long? This was not. This was I think their last big show. Oh, what was it again? No, it was when they made. It was basically when it was.
It wasn't Dominion, was it?
No, it was at. It was their debut. Roppongi 3K's debut.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, when they won the tag title, so they won like straight away. Like
How long ago was it?
Oh, I'll tell you now. Like I for the life of me, I don't remember when it was, but I'll tell you exactly now. If you bear with me for seconds. Is that Power Struggle? No, that was when they retained it. Bear with me for seconds. Destruction. King of Pro Wrestling, I think it says. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
King of Pro Wrestling. That's the one. And they did beat Young Bucks. They beat Ricochet and Taguchi for the titles. So I'm
gonna go Bucks.
I'm gonna go Roppongi 3K.
Oh, okay.
I think they're pushing them right with the titles now, and it'll be that or Bucks become 7-time champions. Nothing wrong with that, but just like I think Roppongi 3K are like a team that should push now more in the tag divisions, certainly the junior tag divisions on New Japan. Which are a very good team.
Yeah.
The IWGP tag team titles, the Killer Elite Squad against Evil and Sonata.
Evil and Sonata.
Me too. I think we're going to see new champions there. Fresh off the tag league. Killer Elite Squad, a fantastic team, but I'd love to see Evil and Sonata go for that.
Yeah.
1-on-1, Cody versus Kota Ibushi. I'm
gonna go Ibushi.
Me too. The thing is, though, I would have easily called this Cody if he said the title, but I imagine the booking could be different now because of that.
Yeah. If he was still the champ, you'd obviously say Cody.
Yeah.
But now that Dalton Castle has the title, I'd say that. I would say, I'd say Ibushi's gonna win. Yeah. It's gonna be. I think it's that. It's kind of, it hasn't gotten a lot of attention, but I think that could be like up there with one of the matches in the night.
I agree with you. I agree with you there.
As long as Cody is not hurt.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, because
he was hurt. He was hurt on the tour that they did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens.
Had a bad back. So
the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship in a fatal 4-way. Marty Scurll defends the title against Will Ospreay, Kushida, and Hiromu Takahashi. This is going to be a fantastic match. Spot City all the way.
Yeah. I'm going to say Takahashi.
Me too.
Yeah, I think Takahashi might.
Because I feel that Takahashi, even though Ospreay and... There's a lot... What I like about all this match is that there's so many different rivalries in this match.
Mm-hmm.
But I get the sense that Takahashi, like, he's almost beaten up every time. Like, every time he tried to challenge for the title, he's knocked out.
Yeah.
Like, I think he'll get his just due in this match, though. But as I said, there's Scurll against Ospreay against Kushida, Kushida against Takahashi, and like there's so much rivalry there, so it's awesome.
Yeah.
For the Intercontinental Championship, Hiroshi Tanahashi defends against Switchblade Jay White. Now you think because they're trying to push Jay White, it'd be a logical choice, but because it's against Tanahashi, it's not as easy. Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm gonna go Jay White.
Think so?
Yeah, I got it. Just for the sake of it.
I like considering that they're good, the way they're pushing people for titles, like as you said, they're Roppongi 3K or junior tag champions at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna go Tanahashi with this. I think he'll just retain. It'll be a tough match, but I think he'll just retain.
Okay.
Now, probably the most anticipated match of the cards for the US Championship, Kenny Omega defends against Chris Jericho.
Omega.
Me too.
Yeah.
It'd be a great match. Imagine if Jericho won that. Can you imagine if Jericho won that, though? I can't see it happening, but no, I'm Omega all the way for that.
Yeah.
And finally, for the main event, the legitimate main event, in my opinion, for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, Kazuchika Okada defends against Tetsuya Naito. Naito all the way.
Naito's man.
Has to win that match.
Yeah.
It's his time. He deserves this main event. I think he's my favorite wrestler in Japan now. Like the way he's been booked and the way he wrestles, I think he's for me is the guy there now. So he'll be. I don't know what they have a term, but they call it for a top star. Like I don't know what it's called, but he's the. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. I can't. What is it called? Let's see. It was something. I remember it was something. What was it called?
You saw that documentary about Naito, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
That was done by those Showbuckle guys.
It's a really good documentary.
Yeah, it's class. Well. Yeah, he mentions it a few times. While you're on that, though,
The Ace, isn't it?
Something like that.
Isn't it called The Ace?
No. It's called something else.
What would it be? Puro or something? Is it?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I have to look back at it myself. Like to be honest with you. Anyway,
Ganjin.
Hmm?
Ganjin. No.
That doesn't sound familiar at all.
No, Poro, I think it might have been.
Could be. Anyway, before we finish off our show, we'll just quickly announce now our nominations now for our TKO Kickies. Now, we already announced all the details on our Facebook page, but we just figure it's an idea as well to announce the full awards and the nominations themselves. So, should we go one by one with this? So, sure. We'll start with the Irish awards, the Fergal Devitt Award for Irish Male Wrestler of 2017.
Yeah.
So nominations are Jordan Devlin, Tucker, Phil Boyd, Adam Maxted, Justy, Danny Butler, Ricky Combat, and Angel Cruz. We picked them all because we all thought they had fantastic years, whether on the mic or on the ring.
Do you want to give our own opinions maybe, or will we just give out the nominations?
I'd rather give the nominations now because
fine.
if that's okay.
That's fine.
You're up next.
Yeah, the Rebecca Quinn Award for Irish Female Wrestler of the Year. Session Mott Martina, Katie Harvey, Raven Creed, Lauren LaRue, Debbie Geitel, Valkyrie, and Amy Alonzi. No disagreements with any of those nominations.
Absolutely.
Tough category.
Very tough category.
Take in a few things take a few things into perspective before you make the decision as well.
Absolutely.
I have an idea who thinks might win it, but I'm not going to give that away.
What I like about this award this year is that last year we had 4 nominations, now we have 7. Yeah. So it shows how much
good,
the Irish women's division has certainly improved.
Yeah.
The Apollo 55 Award for Irish Tag Team of the Year, the nominations are Kings of the North, Team Tropicana, Lads from the Flats, The Establishments, The Woods Brothers, The Armstrongs, Rough Stuff, and The Angel Cruisers. Again, there's so many good tag teams now, isn't there? Like from all over the country. Not like so.
There were a few other tag teams we thought about, but
there were some
we felt that they had good periods in the space. They had like a good 3 to maybe 6 months instead of being around all year.
Yeah, so we had to make some tough decisions.
Now I know the Lads from the Flats weren't there for the last 3 months, but 9 months is better than 6 months.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. So the Contender Award for Irish Prospect of 2017. So that's yourself, isn't it?
Scotty Davis. It is my turn, Dave. Thanks for stepping on my feet there. Anyway, yes, Contender Award for Irish Prospect 2017. Scotty Davis, Curtis Murray, Michael May, Nathan Martin, Darren Cleary, and LJ Cleary. Good luck to anyone that can probably pick out one name from all of them.
Yeah.
Unbelievable list.
All of them had a fantastic year. All of them have really made an impact on the Contender shows in particular. So it's really hard to choose. Now we named this next award for Jerry Humperdinck, the Jerry Humperdinck Award for Irish Personality of 2017. When we announced this, he went on the Irish Wrestling Forum and said best award ever. The nominations are Justy, Angel Cruz, Be Cool, Lee Callahan, Billy Bedlam, the Armstrongs, Don Marnell, and Angus Oak McAnally. So, and it's a good variety of awards. You don't have to necessarily be a wrestler to be it. It could be a personality.
No, even just look at the last 2 itself with Don and Angus. Just their commentary chemistry that they have. If you ever watch the OTT on demand service, even if you're at the OTT shows, what they're like beforehand, even their Twitter accounts as well. Just really charismatic, really over with the crowd. It's and they know how to cut a good promo.
Absolutely. Moving on though.
Yes, the Package Pile Driver Award for Irish Import of the Year. Really tough list again. Here we'll go through. Matt Riddle, Pastor William Evert, Jody Flesh, Ryan Smile, Mark Haskins, Zach Gibson, Marty Skrull, Pete Dunne, CCK, and Jörn Simmons.
All have been very good additions to the Irish wrestling shows, for whatever reasons. Like some of them have been in the multiple promotions across the country.
Yeah, like Jörn was in OTT, and of course then he performed for CCW as well.
Same with Pastor William Ever as well.
Yeah,
Joey Felch as well. So a lot of them had very good years, but obviously it's a hard one to pick for as well. So it should be interesting. Now we also did a Best Irish Export Awards, the Pack Your Bag of Cans Awards for Irish Export 2017. We felt the best Irish wrestler in certainly the Indies who has made the best impact outside of Ireland. Yeah. Nominations are Session Mott Martina, Jordan Devlin, Katie Harvey, Rocky Mack, Sean Maxer Guinness, Darren Carney, Michael May, and Xavier Burns. All of whom are either wrestled the majority of their time outside of Ireland or have wrestled significant bounce outside of Ireland. For example, a lot of them have made their debuts for big British promotions this year. So
exactly, and even the likes of Darren going over to Canada and training under Lance Storm and taking part in a few shows over there.
That's it, yeah.
As well.
Yeah, Michael May training with William Regal and competing in
Japan
Germany,
as well.
In Germany as well, yeah.
So Xavier Burns, I think, was up in Canada too.
Majority of the year, yeah.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting. Moving on anyway.
Yes, Irish rivalry of the year. We've got Luther Valentine versus Tucker, obviously up in PWU. Got Ryan Smile and Mark Haskins at OTT. The Establishment versus the Armstrongs in CCW. Session Mott Martina versus Katie Harvey, again from OTT. The Kings of the North versus the Rapture, again OTT. And finally, from a mixture of OTT and CCW, we'll say more for CCW, Raven Creed versus Debbie Keitel.
Yeah, like that rivalry is extending on to next year as well, because they're going to have a match in Contenders 5 coming up. So all very good rivalries as well, so it should be interesting there. The storyline, we decided it'd be a good idea to separate the storylines from the rivalries, because like to balance them both was tough, like we thought. Yeah,
just a cut. One of the things in there, from Magneto to Dick Templeton, should we take that out because he's after leaving PWU?
It's still a storyline though. Like even despite all the stuff that was said, like it's already mentioned. You've already mentioned it on it as well. So
alright, fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll mention it anyway.
Alright, so true.
So we decided it was a good idea to mention the Irish storyline of 2017 as well. So the nominations are Jordan Devlin as the Import Killer, the breakup of the Gymnasties, the Bobby George Jr.'s losing streak, all of those three in OTT, Magneto's transformation to Dick Templeton in PWU, Ryan Smile's heel turn at OTT, and Lauren LaRue joining therapy down in CCW. All different but very interesting heel turns that have made a lot of impact, not just for the companies they represented, but also the rest of themselves. So.
Exactly, yeah. We'll move on to the Irish podcast / YouTube channel of 2017. We got Low Blows Wrestling Podcast, The Bottom Rope, IWF Podcast, IWF 24/7, Corporate Keen, Dynamo's Dozen, and the CCW Podcast. Very interesting though. One of the nominees here has encouraged people to vote for a different nominee.
That's true.
Low Blows retweeted the show's post during the week and claimed that they think Corporate Keen should win it.
How nice of them. Like, you know, in the end of the day, like, we nominated Lobos because they were a class podcast, even if they did it for 3 months, like, you know. Yeah. So, but Corporate Keen, like, at the same time. So, a lot of very worthy nominations as well. So, it's very, very, it's not as easy to think to vote for that one. The Irish Wrestling's Moments of 2017. Now, this has a lot of moments to pick from. So Jordan Devlin winning the NLW title, the Armstrongs winning the CCW tag titles, Angel Cruz with his chainsaw, Dom Arnell and Angus O'McAnally's Scrappermania introduction, Robert Harmon at Being the Elites, Kenny Omega is announced for Scrappermania, the Dick Flip heard around the world, and Eva versus Connor starting in the streets of Cork. All moments in themselves, like, you know, so that's not an easy one to pick from either.
No, not at all.
So finally we'll just finish off with our match of the year.
Yes, our match of the year, Irish match of the year, the Fight Forever Award. We have called it Matt Riddle versus Mike Bailey at the OTT Tour Anniversary Show. We've got Kings of the North versus Angel Cruz and Joey Janela from OTT Vendetta. British Strong Style versus Angel Cruisers and Tyler Bate at OTT.
Outside Space Odyssey. Outside
Space Odyssey. What it was called, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Session with Martina versus Katie Harvey at OTT's WrestleRama. Ospreay versus Devlin versus Joe Hendry versus Ricky Combat at CCW's Super Larietto Brothers show from the summer. Aussie Open versus Scotty Davis and Connor Devlin from Contenders 4. Raven Creed versus David Keitel also from Contenders 4. Jordan Devlin versus Shane Strickland, this time from Contenders 3. Kings of the North versus the lads from the flats from Scrappermania, and then finally Marty Skrull versus Matt Riddle at OTT's Martina's Gaff Party.
That's going to be dreadful to pick from, isn't it?
Best of luck, lads.
I'm
so happy I don't have to make this decision.
Yeah. So we have a lot of great matches there. It's good luck picking there.
Yep, so that is our Irish awards for our CCW, or not CCW, what am I saying, CCW?
For Irish Wrestling.
For our Kickies awards. We also have a few world categories. We don't have the time to go into them today, but they are on the Twitter and the Facebook page, so make sure you have a look at that too. Obviously, Dave, you're just going to run through how you can vote.
Indeed, so I'll just tell you very quickly how we can vote now. It's just very quickly. As I said, we haven't got the time to really mention, but as we said, all the rules are on our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Kickout Wrestling. But basically, we're just asking you to vote for your top 3 preferences for each award, for each of the nominations. We can only accept the top 3 from you, and we encourage you to send it to our Facebook. Send us a personal message to our Facebook page. If you have any problems whatsoever, please tweet us or send us a message on facebook.com/The Kickout Wrestling or on Twitter at The Kickout Live. So that's just the bare bones of everything. Again, we will mention everything on Facebook and social media regarding any help you may need to vote. But in the meantime, guys, that's all the time we have for this week on The Kickouts, your weekly for pro wrestling guides, right here on 90.3 Near FM, all good podcasting providers, and on the EMC Social Podcast Network. We'll be back next week and next year to cover more from the world of pro wrestling, both here and abroad. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/The Kickout Wrestling, at Twitter at The Kickout Live, myself at Dave Bandana, and Daragh on
at Mars Bar.
Now we'll have to go out with this, obviously. With Wrestle Kingdom just around the corner now, like we'll be back next week to be covering Wrestle Kingdom. It only makes sense to go out with their theme.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah.
So it goes well with that. So it's been another year.
Yeah, so Dave, I'll see you next year.
I'll see you next year. Until next year, I've been Dave Cullen. He's been Daragh Maher. This has been The Kicker. Thank you so much for listening, and have a very good, happy new year.